It's coming home. It's coming. Hey guys, if it's live, who knows? I'm gonna talk anyway. You alright? How's it going? It's a solo stream today. I am gonna be reviewing as much copy as I possibly can. But I may also ramble, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. How is everyone doing? Everyone doing well? All 5 of you in the chat in the first like 2 seconds, you nerds. Hope everyone's having a good day. I am pretty what's the word? Busy, I guess. There's a lot going on in my head and life right now. Because I, fingers crossed, should be moving very soon, which is kind of sad because this is one of the last streams I'll do in this room, and I've come to really like this place over the last couple of years. And I'm gonna check I'm definitely live, because otherwise I'm just rambling, which, you know, I do anyway. Pretty sure I am. I should also probably check that I have sound. Which, you know what? It's gonna screw up the whole, like, microphone thing if I check I have sound. So, if anyone is watching, which I should also do a thing, so I'm gonna do that right now. So unprofessional. Okay. I'm gonna at everyone. Live critiquing copy. And then a smart person would link. How are you guys doing? If you're watching, tell me in the chat if you've been having a good day, you've been having a good week. I hope you have. Yeah, fucking I'll blast it to everyone, who cares? I should probably also set up a event thing. Which I should do, because, you know, we always say the first 5 minutes of these streams don't count. Somewhere else. YouTube, next. Critiquing copy. Cover image, yes, because Kaylee was lovely and made one for me. So that one will do. Start date is now. End date. Oh crap. Yeah, fine. Okay, in 6 minutes. And it's gonna end at midnight. No, not midnight. That's 2.5 hours away. I'm not doing this 2.5 hours. Fucking yeah, 11. There we go. That's better. I should be a lot better at, like, doing these streams by now, but I don't care. Okay. Bang. 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 There's an in the chat. Okay, cool. It's someone saying let's go. I was worried it's going to be someone saying they can't hear me. Oh, dude. I was in the private chat. I wasn't on the comments, so I couldn't see anyone. Okay. That makes sense. Alright. Let's start for serious now, because it's been nearly 4 minutes. Hey everyone. Hey Steve, how's it going? Steve, is a fucker. I can't swear because I'm on YouTube. Steve is an awesome guy, who I met at a copywriting event in London. And he is a stellar copywriter and a great guy to have a pint with. So Steve, nice to see you here again. We shall definitely meet up again in the future, I'm sure. Thank you, Slicksticks, for letting me know everyone can hear me. Maureen, hello. I'm not saying that username because I might get banned, but I'm glad you love me more. Raman, nice to have you in here. Andre, Eno, thank you all for joining us. Maxime, sup Alex, how was your day? Thank you for asking. My day was good. My day was busy. I was meant to start the stream an hour and a half ago, but I stayed at work quite late because I was doing a few things. So I only got back like 15 minutes ago. It's been a very productive day. We are kind of in I mean, I'm gonna say it because it's true. We're in the middle of kind of like revolutionizing private medicine in the UK, so that's really fun. and it's really nice to be at the forefront of that because it's an extremely interesting market, and by our estimates, is going to be worth like 30 billion plus pounds in the next kind of 10 years. So that'll be cool. Moran says, Alex, is there any other event you're attending in London in the future? Maybe? I don't know. I don't really plan that far ahead. As I was saying to someone earlier, I think we have enough people in this stream now to get started. So let's go. For anyone who's new, this is a Whetstone Wednesday. We tend to do them nearly every Wednesday, sometimes every other Wednesday, where we critique the copy of our Patreon supporters, the people who make this channel possible, which is also probably a reason for me to like just show that if you have clients and you earn money and you want to get access to a bunch of masterclasses and get your copy reviewed and just support a stupid hobby YouTube business, then do that, but who cares? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Gonna critique some copy. Someone I think asks, how do you submit? Did someone ask that? That was 6. Yeah, so that's how you submit. You need to be a Patreon member. Because you can tell I'm already frazzled from a day of work. So like, if we just came on YouTube and started reviewing everyone's copy, it wouldn't be fair to our patrons who support us. So yeah, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think, pieces of copy to review. I'm going to try and get through them all, but I say that every week and never do. So let me share my screen. If I share my entire screen, is that fine? I think it is. Don't want to share the audio as well. Okay, cool. I'm not going to be able to see the chat. Glaz, don't forget to zoom into every document you'll be checking. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I will remember that this time, I promise. We're not going to have the fiasco of a couple of weeks ago. Breezy said, you still on my monitor? I am. Sean keeps saying that I should get another one. And I am not going to be, swayed by his brutal regime. The truth is, I'm moving house soon, so I probably will get another one then. And Paulie says, watched your 5-hour copywriting course twice yesterday. Extremely insightful. Wow, thank you very much. I hope you watched it on like double speed, because that's a lot of time to commit to hearing me speak. 17 quid for everything is insane. I'm assuming you're talking about Patreon, but that you could be talking about anything. So if so, thank you. There is a lot in the Patreon. Like, it's kind of, yeah. I know we shouldn't say this, but like, even if you just joined for a month and then downloaded everything and then went away, like, you could get all that for £17. Like, you can do that if you want, but and then Breeze says, I'm sending you one for Christmas. Thank you. What a horrible setup for a stream this is. We're just watching a massive like mirror of nothing. It feels cooler to have multiple monitors. Yeah, probably, but I have that poor person mentality. I don't want it's like people who spend more than like 50 quid on a jacket. It's like, dude, it's just clothes. All right, I'm going to get into this now because otherwise we just can have a conversation, which is lovely, but I also promised I would review a copy. We will probably do one of these streams at some point, maybe before I move as a casual one where I just come on and answer questions. But let's have a look. Okie doke. So, I hope if you're watching this and you submitted copy, I hope you kind of like recognize yours, because I do not have all the names up for these. So this one is, to give you guys context, something we like to do on Copy That is try and pay our viewers whenever we possibly can, because you guys deserve it, and it's nice for you to have some kind of real portfolio work, especially if you're new. So something we're running at the moment is if you go to copythatshow.com, which is our hastily put together website, which we should probably do more with, and you go to digital products, you'll notice we have a bunch of masterclasses here that we sell because, we need to pay our editor, who is Noah, who's awesome. and our thumbnail designer, and the people who do stuff for us. So we sell these. I think all of these are also on Patreon, which again you can get for £17 or $20, whatever it is. But the point is, we are running a thing at the moment where if you write a product description for one of our masterclasses, then if it's good enough, we will pay you for it. I believe we're paying $150 a piece for each page we use, so you can get paid $150, and you can have copy up that's published that we use. So you can add it to your portfolio if you want. You don't have to, but if you want to earn a bit of money and get something up, you're more than welcome to. I think this one actually, I think this was one of our good friends who made this, and this copy was from one of our patrons, and it was pretty damn good copy. So that is the context of what I'm about to review, which is for one of our products, and it is for, let me actually find the product, Cash Conveyor Belt Masterclass. That's the email one, I think. That one? Yes. Which doesn't have a product description yet, I don't think. This is just one that we wrote. And I will zoom in. Don't worry, I will zoom in. I haven't forgotten. I will zoom in. But this is what it's for. So this is a masterclass to do with email sequences. And you can see it was done by Sean. He goes through a bunch of different types of email sequences, stuff like that. And there's a very, very short description that I imagine one of us wrote, and a small testimonial. So that is what this copy is for. So let us zoom in, which can I do, or do I just have to zoom my screen in? Now, I've just zoomed my desktop in. Has that also zoomed in for you guys? Can someone please tell me if that has worked, if that has zoomed in? I also can see a few questions, so I'll answer these questions really quickly while I wait for someone to answer mine. Maxime you've just answered mine, so I'll answer yours in response. Alex, as we know, you're a really busy guy. How do you deal with staying productive? I'm sure we answered this recently, but I'll give you a quick one. I don't know. I just like work. I honestly wish I had a better answer for you than that. Like, I just really like doing stuff. I'm fairly ambitious. I kind of always have been, and I've been working from a very young age, so like I'm just used to it. Getting up early, I think, helps, which is such a cliche, like, billionaire answer, but my most productive hours by far are like 5:30 to like 9 a.m. So I'm up at 5. I don't get much sleep, which some people say is really bad, but I honestly think if you're used to not getting much sleep, it's fine. But I'm also not a sleepologist. So yeah, if you want kind of actual advice, I would say that I'm now at a point in my life where there's so much going on that I can't like block. I can't like kind of keep blocking things out really easily, because often I need to like react to things. But definitely when I really need to be productive and I have loads going on that I need to get a bunch of stuff done on, I will really try and block it out. So I'll say, okay, right, for the next hour, I'm not doing anything but working on this. Or for the next 6 hours, I'm just going to focus on this. Like, all other distractions go to one side. Because honestly, as humans, I think we have a tendency to react to things very quickly and to be quite reactive. But actually, the world won't often burn down if you leave it alone for a bit. So, you can ignore your emails for 6 hours. You don't have to be on call for a day. Like, you can just spend time to do one thing. Don't know if that helps or not. Maybe at some point I'll try and analyze my productivity a bit better. Hey Alex, I bought the course. Do you have the individual slides somewhere so I can print some off to put notes on as references? Brandon, please, what course are you talking about? Please let me know. For the 5-hour video. You bought that? It's free on YouTube. Unless you mean you bought the CCA, which has the slides in it, in which case they are in there. So if you've bought the CCA, then the slides are on Kajabi. If you've got it for free, then the slides aren't like on YouTube. Oh, you bought the career accelerator. Then it should be they should be in there in one of the bonus modules. If they're not, DM me on Discord. If you're not on Discord, then just shoot me an email or message here again, and I will figure it out. Alex is a very disciplined person. That is probably true. I definitely believe that discipline is a key. Alex, your age will catch up to you if you don't sleep enough. Nah, I don't believe that. Cool. All right, cool. All right, let's get to this now. I hope I've explained that. And Maxime, you said that, which I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You said that this was zoomed in. So let's do some reading. Okay, cache conveyor belt, an advanced masterclass on email sequences. And you know something else I'm going to do when I move is sort this microphone out because it's in the way of my screen, like when I try to see it. So I'm going to put it there. And if you guys can't see my face, then, well, you're going to have a better evening. Okay. That is some red text. I'm not sure why it's red, but I will assume that it's meant to be read on the page as well. Email sequences can automate the sales process in any business. And if you're a copywriter who can engineer an automated sales process, you're in the mad money zone. Here are some of the things you will learn in this masterclass that will help you get there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say about this before any of this, before I get into any of the specifics of the copy, as you'll probably know if you've watched a lot of our stuff before, something we always say is kind of the one idea of copy is that you have an idea of who you're talking to, like that ideal person that you're speaking to, and you're trying to get one idea across to them, that one big benefit, the one thing that's really going to convince them, the one thing they really care about right now. Of course, you can mix other things in with it as long as they're supporting that core idea. And I'm not saying this isn't doing that. All I'm going to say is oftentimes I will read these descriptions. So we'll see if this one does it or if it stays true. And they start talking about one thing. So let's say, you can earn loads of money. And then later on in the description, they'll start talking about how it's great because you get like an intricate look at email sequences and like understand at a high level like why they're persuasive. Now, those two things are actually completely different ideas of why someone might want this class. And it's something you need to get clear before you write a description for anything, which is, who am I writing this for? Is this for someone who it wants to learn this because they want to pitch it and they pitch it as a service and they want to make loads of money out of it? Or am I writing this to someone who wants to know because they want to expand their own skill set and they're interested in the copy itself? Is this someone who has their own business and is learning it for their own stuff, etc.? I will never berate someone for picking an idea that isn't as good. I will often berate people who like to throw in all the ideas and they mix between them. I'm not saying this is going to do that, but one thing to keep in mind when we read all of this copy today. The $1 million webinar email sequence of victory. Learn the process behind Sean's unique sequence that earned over $1 million. Swipe everything he's learned about webinars, funnels, and sequences from one image, including Jeff Walker's formula, a bunch of insights he got from Andre Chaperone, and more. 11 must-know tips to boost conversions with your sequences that you can start using straight away, including a subtle technique you can use to start getting sales before you even sell the product. The number one way to charge your clients more for your sequences. You and your client might be missing out on a lot of dollars if you're not taking advantage of this sequence. Okay, so let's analyze this. Now, are these points congruent with how this starts here? Well, let's break it down. This starts by establishing that every business needs this. What's that communicating to me? That's communicating that if I know this, I'm always going to have clients I can go out to. A fairly strong proposition to put to someone who may be buying this because they want more clients. And if that's the angle you're going with, that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that angle. If that is what you're going with, this could be a lot stronger because it's kind of tiptoeing around that point. Email sequences can automate the sales process in any business. So what? Like, what does that mean? You go on to kind of salvage it, with your next sentence, but this is not immediately obvious why this is beneficial to know. Instead, if this was framed as, or even just swapped around, so something around business owners will pay mad money for anyone who can automate their sales process. Like, I'm not even changing the words too much there. I'm still saying automating your sales process, which isn't particularly strong, but you see how it immediately hits at, I can immediately infer why this would be good to learn, because every business owner is going to want this. So just think about strengthening your main point by getting to it quicker and making it more obvious why I might want this. But regardless, you're starting with the idea of, you'll be in the mad money zone once you know how to do this. So you're going with the idea of, I can earn more money and I can get better clients by watching this masterclass. Great. We've established our idea. If I'm reading this description, I now know that this is what it's about, and damn straight, you better prove that to me, because I want to buy this now, because I'm feeling like this is something that I'm looking for. The $1 million webinar email sequence of victory. Interesting. Let's break down bullets before we go into anything further. And hopefully I usually end up spending more time on the first piece of copy, because I often explain the techniques and reasonings and measuring sticks that I use as I analyze the rest of the copy. So let's talk about bullets for a second. What is the point of a bullet? What's the purpose of a bullet? If you watch me a lot, you're probably sick of me saying this, but hopefully you're typing this out in the comments furiously right now. What is the purpose of a bullet? The purpose of a bullet is to tease the content that they don't have yet. It is to tease out what is inside the product, because you're trying to fascinate them. Because when people are fascinated, they really, really want to know what they don't have access to right now. The whole point of it is to try and make them understand that it's worth buying, and to scratch that itch that you've caused because you've tempted them with this nugget, this little bit of knowledge that if you only had this masterclass, you'd know this thing. That's what a bullet is trying to do. Now, there are lots of different types of bullets. We've talked about Clayton Makepeace's The Screaming Eagle newsletter, where he breaks down bullets. I think if you just Google those words, you'll find a fantastic pamphlet on how to write good bullet copy. Screaming Eagle, Clayton Makepeace bullets. I'm sure you'll find it online. There are many different types of bullets, but something that's quite common in bullets is to start a bullet off with a unique, curious, what we call like IP, so intellectual property, something that is almost vague and mysterious. The $1 million webinar email sequence of victory. Like, that's such a curious, unique phrase that it's immediately interesting to me to kind of know what that is. And of course, it's slightly implying that, there's money around here. Learn the process behind Sean's unique sequence that earned over $1 million. Okay, is this congruent with his message up here? So far, yes. Again, like, it's not hitting the nail directly on the head necessarily, but it's still in that kind of money zone that we've spoken about, and I want to be able to earn money with this. It's not saying whether it earned $1 million for Sean or for the business, but it's saying it earned $1 million, so okay, makes sense why I might want to know it. Swipe everything he's learned about webinars, funnels, and sequences from one image. Nice line. I like that. Nice bit of copy. People who are on this description, will they know what swipe means? Hopefully. But who knows? This is why you need to establish who this is for. Is this for someone who's a brand new copywriter? Is it for an existing copywriter who wants to expand the money they can make from clients? Again, another thing to think about before you start writing. But everything that he's learned about webinars, funnels, and sequences from one image. I like that because it's implying that I'm going to get a ton of value out of just one thing within it. Now, I want to know what this image is. You've put an image in my mind of this image that is blurred right now. I don't know what it is, but I can imagine seeing it and getting excited about it and learning a lot about it, including Jeff Walker's formula, a bunch of insights he got from Andre Chaperone, and more. Great. I don't know if this is really adding anything to the bullet necessarily. It's certainly drawing on other people's authority. But one thing to be wary of whenever you're including references to other people's work in bullets and in copy is, should I now go and Google what Jeff Walker's formula is or who Andre Chaperone is? Like, if I don't know who these people are, then should I be learning from them instead? Is this going to make me go off the page? Something I've learned, which is something I don't see get talked about very often, is you want to try and limit the number of reasons that people would have to leave the page. And mentioning other people's products are a reason that someone might leave the page to go and look at those, because believe me, people do that a lot. So not the strongest bullet, but it's definitely got some stuff in there that can be salvaged. Hopefully I've done an okay job of explaining what that is. Another thing that another good kind of tip for bullets is being specific. Specificity works really well. 11 must-know tips to boost conversions with your sequences. 11 must-know. 11 implies that there are 11 for a reason, and that there are just 11 things that I need to know. So clearly this is an authoritative piece of content. And again, just like the image, I want to know what those 11 are now. Like why there are 11 specifically. What could they possibly be? Tips to boost conversions with your sequences that you can start using straight away, including a subtle technique that you can use to start getting sales before you even sell the product. We're starting to lose the coherence of the message in this bullet. I'm not even saying anything is inherently wrong with this copy necessarily, the word for word. But is this in line with me earning money and being in the mad money zone, like being able to boost conversions with sequences? You could argue that there could be, because it's going to help you retain clients and impress clients, and that's what I want to do, and that makes sense for why I could make more money from them. But it's not saying that. I'm really having to dig to try and understand that. So I don't think that this is immediately linking with it, and it's with the message, and it's not something that is going to make me excited for the reason I initially got excited. So it's not continuing that thread of, oh my god, yeah, I can earn a lot of money if I learn these things. So again, if you've established this as like the idea, carry it through on your next most important part of the copy, which is, the bullet section that you're writing. The number one way to charge your clients more for your sequences. Cool, good. I think this is congruent with the message. I think you're right to have something like this further down, because again, if you opened with this, I might be like, well, I'm not necessarily charging any clients for my sequences right now. But again, have a think about the person who's reading this. Like I've just said, are they already writing sequences, or do you need to teach them everything first of all? Do you need to show them how to write good sequences and how you can pitch that to clients? Because in that case, you would reframe this to be more about the potential of the future. So you could even do a comparison bullet where you're comparing their future self to everyone else and to the 99% who don't know these secrets. So you could say something around like, while other beginners struggle to raise their rates, you can charge more. You can charge clients way more and have them love you for it, just by knowing like X or Y, or by reading page 16, or by skipping to minute 32, 17 seconds, or whatever. Something around that, which is the idea of, I'm getting something more here that I already recognize is a negative. I recognize that I don't want to raise my rates. I find it difficult. I'm not earning as much as I could right now. And even if I know about, how to sell stuff, and I have this under my belt, am I going to be able to charge people more because it's a bit awkward? Maybe thinking about taking those objections, those fears away that your reader's going to have. And again, all of this just comes back to thinking about that one idea that you had at the start and establishing who that reader is at the beginning. So it would also be helpful if, you wrote about who you think this is best targeted at. And I'm just going off of, the idea that you've started here. This may not be the best idea for this course. This course may be way better targeted at people who already love emails and want to, get the insights that only an Agora copywriter has. So hopefully that makes sense. I've gone through quite a few copy bits there to give you an understanding of the kind of conceptual level we're talking at here, because I'm going to be referring to these points again and again as we go. We've got a little section about what you actually get, and the button, of course, and now we have what we would call the body copy with a bunch more bullets and notes. Look at this. We've actually got some notes here around I'm guessing notes you took while watching the masterclass. Yeah, I think so. So cool. So it's good. It's good that you're doing this from actual notes, and I can tell you are, because you're referencing things that are inside the masterclass. But again, I think that this intro and this initial bullet section could be stronger, and I think it could be stronger by thinking about the congruency of your message. and who you're actually trying to write to, and what is the thing that they're actually genuinely going to be excited about. So let me pause there before I go into any of the body copy, and just see if there have been any questions around this. I should have hidden that comment. My apologies. Rouse Curiosity, Screaming Eagle Bullet News letter is crazy good. Yes, it is. And Sharuk, Arouse Curiosity, exactly. I assume that was in response to what I was saying about what is a bullet for. Yeah, arousing curiosity, getting people interested. Okay, fantastic. So now let's just look at the body copy. And we need to, again, think about the purpose of the body copy. Now, these are for product pages. What can we assume about product pages? We always need to look at the context of copy before we write it as well. These product pages are on our website. We can assume that anyone visiting them has come from either an ad or a funnel that we've written for it, but as the people writing this copy for us now know, that's not where they're coming from because we're not running any ads to this. Instead, this is kind of passive copy, which is for when someone is just exploring our website, maybe when we've linked it from a YouTube link or something like that, or an email, then they'll come and have a look at it. So it's already coming from people who probably know about Copy That and probably know about the channel. And they likely are not going to need a massive sales letter proportion of copy to be convinced to buy a little masterclass. Okay, because we don't try and claim these masterclasses are anything more than advanced tips and very helpful. We never try and say, oh, our masterclasses are absolutely crazy, they're going to knock your socks off, even though some of them I think will, and I am proud of quite a lot of them. But we don't need to go into a massive sales letter here. So I think the way that you've approached this initially is like a good idea, a short, to the point, one idea kind of description, a few bullets of what you think are the most important things, and then of course we have like what it actually is here. This on its own will be enough to convince some people. Like, great. What does body copy do here? What if we were to scroll down the page? We just use it, in my opinion, for these kind of masterclasses, just like how one of our patrons already had for this masterclass, which is bullet, just a ton of bullets. Okay. Again, expand on the idea a little bit, and then given a ton of stuff to be excited about that's in the video. If I'm interested in this and this stuff has kind of hooked me a bit, and I keep scrolling down because I want to know about this, this is all about proof, basically. So, of course, it expands on the idea of why you would want this. And then it talks about me. This is one of my masterclasses, the proof that I have, the fact that I've been paid a lot of money and that I've worked for multi-billion-dollar corporations. And then it's moving straight into, look, he kind of reveals all here, and this is everything that's packed into it. And then if I want to look down here, I would either pick these out at random or see ones like this and go like, oh my God, or read through every single one. And there is so much in here. There's so much curiosity that's been roused that I just can't not buy it. So I think you follow that structure, and I think that's a good idea. So let's read it. In fact, it kind of seems like you have taken it quite a bit of inspiration from this. It seems you've swiped this, which is all good. Nothing wrong with swiping. Nothing wrong with swiping. Master strategies behind email sequences that turn your inbox into a money-making machine. Again, this is where the lack of congruence. Is congruence a word? Congruency? Congress? To be? I don't know. I don't care. I'm tired. This is where the lack of should be another word. Message matching. Lack of whatever shows itself again. Up here, you've told me that this is to get in the mad money zone. As in what I can earn as a copywriter. Now you're talking about how I can turn my inbox into a money-making machine. So is this for me as a freelance copywriter, or is this for me as a business owner? Bit confused now. So again, just think about that. This advanced masterclass is specifically made for seasoned copywriters, not those just starting out in the world of copywriting. Okay, right. This is for advanced copywriters. Now, seasoned copywriters. Now, why isn't this implied or mentioned up here? Not because I'm not saying that you necessarily want to deter new copywriters. Obviously, if you know copy that, we like to deter new copywriters from buying stuff from us. We prefer they just look at the free stuff and then get clients and then pay us if they want to. But I'm not going to say you have to do that, but it's less about deterring the wrong people. It's more about inviting the right people into this. If you're positioning this as, this is actually kind of an advanced masterclass, and this is for people who are already seasoned copywriters, it's just unlocking further stuff for your copy career. Great, you've really narrowed down on that, but I didn't get that from this. I got, hey, this is if you want to earn a load of money as a copywriter, which could be kind of relevant to anyone. And when we aim for anyone and everyone, we end up catching no one. So if this is what you're doing here, then I would bring this way further up, like this sentiment. If you're looking to learn how to write good emails, this is not for you. Okay, awesome. You're disqualifying the wrong people here. I like this. I think this kind of talk would be better further up the page. However, if you've written emails, study them, and now you want to take your skills to the next level, you're in the right place. In this 2-hour-long masterclass, you will learn how to automate profitable email sequences so you can start charging clients 2x, 3x, or even more for your emails. All it takes is to master the strategies behind proven email sequences and know when to use each one and why. Okay, now we actually have like the kind of core idea of who this masterclass is good for. And this I don't think is communicated up here. So for me, now I'm reading this and I'm going, okay, if you already know how to write fairly good copy, but you just want to know how to charge so much more to clients, or you want to be able to move into a more profitable niche or space, like this is for you. So you could even say, you could even open this up like, do you feel you've reached your ceiling, your earning ceiling as a copywriter? Like this is going to blow it wide open. This masterclass is for people who are used to writing emails or have written who already have some clients or have written decent copy, and it's going to teach you a skill that's going to allow you to get better clients or to make your own clients more successful and consequently get paid more. That I think is what you should be going for, and that is the kind of message I would push way higher up this page. Sean is a master at this, as he's been writing, strategizing, generating profits from email sequences since before you were born. So follow along as he dives deep into the different styles and types and goals of email sequences, and reveals the most profitable email sequence that you can start using immediately. Hint: Daniel Throssell is a master at this. Plus, he breaks down the webinar email sequence of victory that earned over $1 million for his client. If you're ready to unlock the hidden secrets behind email sequences that could potentially earn you hundreds, if not thousands more, let me give you a sneak peek at some of the things you'll learn in this masterclass. So I think that you have a much more concrete idea of who you're writing to here, and as such, this piece of copy reads better than what you wrote up here, and gives me a better sense of what you're trying to do. So I would say that the what we would call the functional edits, a functional edit of your copy should be to move this kind of idea further up the page and open with it, so people know that yes, this is for me, because this is the kind of place that I'm at right now. I think for each of these things, you can be stronger in what you're trying to portray. Sean is a master at this, as he's been writing, strategizing, and generating profits from email sequences since before you were born. Like, okay, great. But how does that put him apart from everyone else? Why should I listen to Sean over the other people you've mentioned further up, Jeff Walker and Andre Chaperone? Is this stuff out there in the world anywhere? Is it only he who knows it? Is it because he's worked with specific people that he understands it? Does he have a particular power for sharing this with other people? Is he going to show me something that makes it super easy? Just think about what's going to convince me beyond just saying Sean has done this before. Okay, cool. He's done this before. So what? Like, how much has he earned for himself from this? When did he generate more clients or upsell himself? When did he discover this and understand that, oh God, this is the key for getting more money from clients? Reveals the most profitable email sequence you can start using immediately. Again, for me, for my clients, if it's for my clients, what kind of clients? What makes it profitable? So this can be tightened up, definitely. But I think the idea that you have here makes this copy more effective because you know who you're speaking to. Up here, I think it wasn't immediately clear. Okay. Let's look at a few, let's look at 5 of these bullets, and then we'll move on to the next piece of copy. First one. 1718. Why most copywriters are using email templates the wrong way. You need to learn this ability to differentiate yourself from the average. So this is a classic. Others are doing X, but you're going to learn the right way type of bullet. These are timestamps of the video. Again, it gives that specificity. It means I can imagine clicking to 1718 and learning this, so I know where it is. Makes me feel more like I need to have it because I know where it is within the product. Why most copywriters are using email templates the wrong way. You need to learn this ability to differentiate yourself from the average. This isn't really telling me why this is useful for me. This is more just saying people don't use templates right, and you need to differentiate yourself from them. Why? Should I be using templates at all? Is that good? What if I don't use templates right now? Should I be using them? How is it going to help me? Is it going to mean that I can write good emails every single time? Does it make it easier, faster? Does it mean I'm not going to embarrass myself? What's the reason I need to know this? Again, we often talk about the 4 U's in copywriting. So that's unique, i.e. how unique is something. Let me start again. The 4 U's are a way to measure the effectiveness of things like headlines and bullets and individual pieces of copy. Unique. Is this something that I've seen nowhere else before? Because if so, it's new, and if something is new, it means it's exciting to me because I feel like I'm learning something. I'm uncovering something that I otherwise haven't known. Is it ultra specific? Things like the timestamp, for example, that's very specific as to when this is, so it gives me immediate confidence in it. Other ultra specificity are things like specific amounts of money that people have made, or specific averages of time that things save. You know, how ultra specific are things? Is it urgent? Is this piece of copy giving me a reason that I should act right now? Or, does it not have any effect on my life whether I do it now, in 2 weeks, in a year? Does it not matter? What makes this something that I need to know now and I need to buy or act on now? And then lastly, useful, which is the point I was trying to get to with this one, which is, so what? Like, you can say something to me and it can be unique, it can be ultra specific, but if it's not useful to me, if it's not giving me something that makes it obvious, like, right, that makes sense as to why it is relevant, why should I care? And that is what this bullet is lacking. Let's go for follow a classic right-wrong bullet. So, hey, this is the way you do it, yeah? Wrong. Kind of similar to the one we just looked at, actually. Follow-up emails are simple, right? Wrong. These are the 3 types of emotions you need to tap into for an effective follow-up sequence. Okay, great. But again, follow-up emails in what capacity, and why am I needing them? Is that something that I'm gonna immediately understand if I'm an email copywriter? Like, I'm an email copywriter, like me personally, and follow-up emails are simple, right? I don't know what you mean. I don't know if you're talking about follow-up in terms of outreach or follow-up in terms of regular sequences. And if I'm looking at this masterclass and I've been referred to this masterclass, it's probably because I don't know about sequences yet, right? Wrong. Okay, ignore that because that was fucking stupid. But you see what I'm trying to get at here, which is that just try and understand who it is you're speaking to, and if the bullet actually makes sense to them. Is this going to be something they initially understand is important, similar to the useful element? Now, you've gone specific again. There are 3 types of emotions you need to tap into for an effective follow-up sequence. But again, I don't yet know why a follow-up sequence is useful or good to me. And I think that's kind of a theme running throughout this copy, is that not entirely sure who we're talking to or what it is, what kind of the one idea is we're trying to get across to them as the reason they need to act now. Want more engagement in your emails? Learn the easy way to craft email sequences to reach people at the something level. Use this and your customers will never look back at their purchase. Bit all over the place, I think, this bullet. You talk about engagement, and then you talk about how customers won't regret buying. Why are those things linked? Again, engagement in emails, is that something I care about right now, considering you said this is all about earning more money from clients? Again, it's not inherently bad to drop a couple of bullets in that are related to other things and bonuses and benefits they're going to get beyond just what they're expecting. But most of these so far have been stuff that aren't really related to me earning more money from clients. They're more just about the conceptual things I'm learning from emails. So again, like, there's a lack of message matching. I love this technique in bullets. I actually think this was something that I not invented, because I'm sure other people have done this. If fucking me saying this, it's probably in the Clayton Makepeace letter now I think about it. But this was certainly one that I knowing I didn't know anyone else had done, and I started doing myself because I thought it was a really fun idea. Which is just like the blank bullet, where you say oh, the secret to this is, or x plus y equals blank, or x plus blank equals y. I really like using this little gimmick in bullets because I think it's quite effective, because again, it's that whole thing of, well, I want to know what that word is now, just like the image thing earlier. Discover the number one way to charge your clients more for your sequences. Great. This hits at the message I was talking about earlier. Good, strong start to the bullet. I want to know what the best way is to do this thing. How do I charge my clients more for my sequences? Great. Cool. I'm not saying that's the one you should lead with, because again, there's still the question of, am I currently charging for sequences? But this makes sense to put in a string of bullets, because once you know what sequences are and how you're going to give them to clients, this is how you charge even more for them. You and your client might be missing out on a lot of dollars if you're not taking advantage of this sequence. But again, it falls off on this bit. You and your client might be missing out on a lot of dollars if you're not taking advantage of the sequence. This isn't even necessarily an issue of idea. This is an issue of logic. Discover the number way to charge your clients more for your sequences if you're not taking advantage of this sequence. This makes it sound like you're going to explain a negotiating tactic, or a way to sell yourself, or a way to convince your client to pay you more. This now sounds like you're going to teach me about a sequence that I can write. Which one is it? Again, it loses that rhetorical punch that it had, because it feels like it falls flat, because I don't know now what you're trying to say. And let's go for the last one, which we'll just do this one down here. You can't make any money from inactive lists, right? Well, it depends. Learn. That's a classic copy, that saying. Learn how to napalm bomb your email list to earn extra dollars. Again, I like the use of something that's potentially a bit of an IP. I mean, napalm has been a thing, unfortunately, for a while. But it gives me an idea of okay, this is a specific tactic that I can use. I would say, is this something that is a commonly held belief of the person you're talking to? If it is, then great, because they're going to be immediately interested in this. If lists are not something they've dealt with much before, or list management, they may not really understand this anyway. Imagine instead, you can still go with this idea. I don't think this is a bad idea for a bullet necessarily, but imagine instead reframing this, and instead of saying you can't make any money from inactive lists, right, and risking someone not knowing really what an inactive list is, or how to deal with that, reframe this into something like don't fall into the inactive list trap, for example. So an active list trap, one thing, so they go oh, what's that? Why that sounds like it's important, I should probably know what that is. And then it's once as soon as you know how to get more clients, or as soon as you can upsell clients on email sequences, which again is the thing we've been trying to convince them of up till now, you need to make sure you never do these three things or something. It will ruin your chances of earning more money. Okay, right? That's now a warning bullet around okay, well, that's something I need to not do. And it's future pacing beyond me just learning about how to upsell myself. Now it's assuming that, yes, you're obviously going to have been able to upsell yourself by this point. That's what all the other bullets are about. I'm going beyond in this masterclass. I'm going to teach you how to avoid something that could ruin your earning potential. That's meeting me potentially where I am. If I don't really understand like if an active list is good or bad or not right now, you don't have to know that. I'm saying to you, don't never fall into a specific trap that you don't even know about yet. Once you've learned all this, you're going to need to know this if you want to make sure you keep that money. So now you're like taking money away from me that I don't even have yet, but it feels bad because emotionally what's happening is I feel like I'm losing out by not knowing this. Like, what if I accidentally do this now? I need to know this. Like, what if I go and earn email sequences from someone else, but I didn't learn about this thing that Sean knows? So now I have to buy this because even if I learn it elsewhere, no one else is going to tell me about this trap that people fall into. I want to know the 3 things that mean, the 3 red flags I have to watch out for. Okay. So there we go. Hopefully that helped whoever's copy this was. I will not be spending as much time on this as all of them because, as I say, I always like using the first one as an explanation as for why I'm even saying what I'm saying. So now, if you watch this and it's your copy coming up, you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Yeah, I'd say overall, I wouldn't pay money for this because I don't think it fully understands who it's targeting. Or if it does, it's not portraying that message in the right way. I think really structurally, this needs to be more well thought through. I think that you need to go back to the drawing board and work out, okay, what is the thing they're going to care about right now? And go back through this copy and for each part of it, ask, does this make sense to tell them about right now? Or does it not? Ask that. Really understand what it is they know and what's useful for them. And try and give them something they can grasp onto now and that really makes sense in their situation. That's what I would say. Hopefully that is useful. I will move back to StreamYard for a second to read some comments, and I swear to God, I'm going to work out how to look at the chat without constantly... Oh, I can hide my screen, can't I? Look at that. I can, like, hide my screen. Awesome. You were using it correctly. I can't remember what that was about, Steve. Oh, congruence. Okay, right. Congruence is a word. It's a word, yes. I don't know. Okay, thanks. Congruence, I'm going to keep using. Would you recommend for this type of copy to include testimonials to show authority? Yeah, for sure. I think anything that's selling something, but I mean, never say an absolute, but generally speaking, anything that's trying to sell, like, testimonials are only ever a good thing. So you certainly can use testimonials in product descriptions on product pages for these masterclasses. Even better if testimonials come from people who are similar to the person that you're targeting. That was probably loud. I'm also going to need to leave in a minute to get more water because I'm thirsty. Alex, what's your take on giveaway bullets where you actually share an insight directly instead of trying to create intrigue? Yeah, I honestly think when it comes to bullets, variety is the king. Include a bunch of different stuff in there because you never know what people are going to read. People often skim bullets. People often read every single bullet. People often just pick them at random like I was doing. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with a giveaway bullet where you're just giving a piece of advice if you want to throw it in there. I personally haven't used those myself that I can think of, but I can certainly see literally just saying like just like free lesson right now. Never, I don't know, because you still need a bit of intrigue, I think, just for it to do its job, but you can still share something useful. So let's say, for example, free advice. Never enter the ecom niche. I'll explain why at 13 minutes and 30 minutes 64. That's not a possible time. 30 minutes and 54. You can thank me later or something like that, right? Like that's me giving technically free advice, although it's bad advice. And I've heard that advice a couple times recently. There seems to be like a few people who think that e-commerce is not profitable, which is hilarious to me because it's how I've got rich. But like I hate saying stuff like that, but it kind of annoys me when people are like, no, never go into e-commerce. Like it's the worst niche. No, there are no worse niches. There are just worse copywriters. So yeah, so I don't think a giveaway bullet is inherently a bad thing. I can't say I've ever used them myself, but variety is the better. The goal being making readers think if they're giving away such gold info for free, how good is the paid stuff going to be? I mean, like that's kind of more of a strategic decision than a copy tactic, I would say. Copy that, for example. You know, like you can break down our strategy as they give a load of stuff away for free, so people will buy their masterclasses. We don't. We're just not very good business people. We just find it easier to give stuff away for free than to worry about all the tax. But like in all seriousness, like for example, you know, the reason that course creators give stuff away for free is for that exact you know, feeling of reciprocity. Like, oh, you give me all this stuff for free. Imagine how good, you know, I owe you, and imagine how good the paid stuff is going to be. So yeah, that's certainly a strategic thing that's done within the funnel, you know, not even just in a bullet. Just popped in. What's happening, people? Hey, Ian. Hope you're doing well. Ian Takashi Moore. That's a cool name. W. Thanks, Mad Proper. I've been told by the kids that that's a good thing. Thanks. Alex is thirsty, everyone. I take it back. That's not a cool name. But you're right. 30 minutes, 64. Yeah. Alex, I'm a junior copywriter. I really enjoy the free content of Copy That. However, I would love to find more knowledge about copywriting and much more. How do we make? Ah, wow. I'm glad you asked, Maxime. You should not spend any money if you're a beginner copywriter. You should save it. You should treat your mom to a nice night out, and you should get copywriting clients before you pay for anything. Do that. If you're a beginner right now, any beginners watching this, the 20 people watching this, if you're a beginner, don't give your money to any YouTube guru. They do not have your best interests at heart. They have their own wallet at heart. Go and get free stuff first and land clients, and then when you can afford it, pay money. Okay, I'm just kind of answering these questions now. I'm not going to go further than the last comment that's just come in after this. How do I know copywriting is for me? I love reading books but hate writing. I would say if you hate writing, it's probably not for you. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or sarcastic. I understand like there's a big appeal of copywriting, but genuinely, if you don't like writing, I think that it might be quite difficult to keep at. I love writing, so I can't really give you much insight into that. George kind of hate writing. I mean, you can still watch the content, like it's fine, you know. Like I end up watching like, you know, how to tie like naval knots, but I have no interest in that and I'm never going to do it, but you know, who knows what's going to come up in a pub quiz. Okay, let's move. Let's share my screen again and let's get to the next piece of copy. Again, I'm going to speed through this a bit now because it's already 20 past 10, and hopefully I've explained my reasoning for the copy that I review. Now, someone asked me to review this. I don't know if this is what they wrote or like it's just something they wanted me to review, but they're a Patreon and you know they sent this when I asked for copy to review, so I'm gonna review it. God, this is a lot of stuff going on. I'm just gonna get rid of this instead of analyze it right now because I need to speed through this stuff. Look, an ad. Skip. Oh God. Oh God. 3 out of 2. How is that fair? This $6 per share cancer research startup discovered an oddly simple solution to solid tumors, achieving a 100% remission rate. Really? Okay. God damn. This is so heavy to get into right now. So okay, what is this? For anyone watching, this is what we call an advertorial. An advertorial is the mixture of the word ad or advert and the word editorial. It is an ad disguised to look like a piece of neutral content. The idea of which is to make you feel more confident in its validity. So let's just go through this quickly and let's see if you can try and work out what it's trying to do. This $6 per share cancer research startup discovered an oddly simple solution to solid tumors, achieving a 100% remission rate. Oh, look, there you go. They even tell you it's an advertorial right now. I mean, I think they're talking about that bit, but regardless, they have the word advertorial. Is this the same thing? Interesting. Okay. So this is obviously trying to sell you the basically effectively this is like their newsletter, so their insider report. It's usually $47 a month, but now you can get it for just 99 cents. So they're trying to get you on to the report to learn about these kind of stocks that are going to be crazy good to invest in. Cholera claimed the lives of thousands in North America for decades until major cities cleaned their pipes. Scurvy killed hundreds of thousands of sailors. Before millions of diabetic children died gruesome deaths before insulin was isolated in 1921. And now one ambitious startup is working on a simple solution that could turn solid tumors into a thing of the past, and you can participate in the revolution it's poised to make. So the whole point of this is to, if you can't tell yet, I mean, hopefully just this should make you tell. They are advertising a stock that you can invest in that is going, it's pre-IPO. And the idea is they want to sell you on their newsletter so you can understand how to invest in it, basically. This one has actually been paid for, I think, by the company. Is that right? Let's see. Oh. All right. Well, that's great. I don't know, maybe they got done for lying. Because a 100% remission rate sounds a bit too much. So this actually looks like it might have been paid for by the company to get you to either invest in the stock or to buy a thing to tell you how to invest in the stock or tell you how to get into it right now. So this is just trying to build up like how big this is going to be, what impact is, and it's trying to tell you about how this is a breakthrough. So it's something that no one else has done before. The technology discovered by this company distributed 50 times more of the drug in the tumor while reducing the number of toxic molecules in the body by 800 times. On top of that, the remission rate stood at 100%. If these numbers seem bloated, remember that many 19th century physicians laughed at the notion they could slash deaths on their operating table simply by washing their hands between surgeries. Really like that bit of copy because this is immediately countering your objection to this. So it said this, like when I came on, I said, well, that sounds a bit like bullshit. They know that sounds a bit like bullshit. So they're immediately saying, well, that sounds like bullshit. But remember, you would have laughed at someone 100 years ago for saying, about washing your hands. But now it's common knowledge, which, if you're reading this, kind of makes you go, it's a fair point. To push the point further, it's been done on this tumor, one of the most aggressive tumor types. And it's going to conquer this market. The company's going to receive loads of stuff. At that point, you probably won't be able to do it, but you can join it right now. So what is this piece of copy doing? Like, what's the whole point of it? If you're someone who's an investor and you're interested in getting into stocks, or that it's what you do, you're always looking for the next kind of thing to put your money into. You're always looking for something exciting. Or something to be framed excitingly. Now, this is being framed quite excitingly. It's making me think about, well, could this be the start of the cancer revolution? Like, is this going to be the next cholera that gets wiped out? Man, maybe. So they're really, really trying to hit on that emotion of like the next big thing. Like, I want to buy this, and then I want to tell people at the dinner table that I have invested in this thing because it's going to be the next big crazy thing. Is this a good idea or not? Yes, it's a good idea in the sense that if this gets your attention, it's doing a good job of framing it in a way that is immediately, look, this is the thing that's going to cure it, without outright saying this is going to cure it. Just making you think. Starting you at an idea that you already have and you already understand that all these horrible diseases were cured before, and then coming into this new big disease, which is cancer, which we all know about, can also be cured. And this company's probably the ones to do it. by the way, this market's going to be massive. By the way, it's only $6 a share right now. You could probably get on board with them now because, you know, their drug is pretty insane. Like, that is quite an attractive theme that you've got going there in the copy. Regardless of your morals and what you think of them doing it and saying these things, like, it works in the sense that it's going to pull you into it. Now, I have no idea how this piece of copy did. It may have bombed. It may have done brilliantly. But the point is, you can see what they're trying to do there and how they're framing it. So if this did very well, or if this got a lot of interest, I can understand why. The interesting thing is that the link is broken and you can't get onto the website. So maybe they've been taken down for making these kind of claims. Whenever you're doing anything in health, as I know all too well now, you have to be very careful about how you frame things and what you say. So that's why I would have to say about this piece of copy and what advertorials do generally. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Now, let's move on to the next piece of copy. I'm kind of tempted to go and get some water before I carry on, but I also know that's such a bad, like, stream etiquette. But at the same time, I don't care because I'm thirsty. So I'm going to leave you here. Speak amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a moment. I need to whet my tongue. So, BRB. I also got a brownie. Because fuck you guys. Oh no, it's YouTube. Because damn you guys. I live in my own house. I make my own rules. If I want a bucket of KFC to myself, I'm going to have one. All right. But instead, I just want a brownie right now. Okay. I wish there must be a way. There must be a way to pop this chat out. Does anyone know StreamYard? How can I pop this, like, out? How do I... So I can see all you lovely people and what you're doing. I don't know. Hydrate. Yes. Get some water. Yes. I think I am hydrating. Drink more water. I might die. Yes. Bon appetit. Thank you, Martin. And you're very welcome. Okay. Marketing email. I like the confidence of that title. Context. The reader is a middle-aged person who suffers from joint pain. They are problem-aware because they already suffer from joint pain and are looking for a solution. To disrupt and grab, the aim is to disrupt and grab the reader's attention. The end goal of the email is to get them to click a link that goes to a landing page. The message, I wanted to create a scenario that the reader can relate to straight away because it's common for people to sit for hours in front of the TV. Okay, marketing email. I'm going to guess this is a subject line. Do you like watching your favorite soaps? I'm going to stop right there. What you have said is that this person suffers from joint pain. That we know that about them. They suffer from joint pain. Do you think the subject line, do you like watching your favorite soaps, is going to remind them that they have joint pain? Do you think that is the quickest, easiest, most striking way to hit out at the big problem they have right now? I'll give you the answer. No, it isn't. As I've said many times before, and I love using this analogy, if you suffer from nosebleeds, the best headline that you can possibly see is the word, the phrase "nosebleeds?" ? that's going to make me click on the link. That's going to make me expand the email. That's going to make me look at whatever it is that's trying to get my attention. Do you like watching your favorite soaps? It's slightly intriguing in the sense that okay, like, why are you asking me that? But if you know about them, that they suffer from joint pain and they're looking for a solution, don't make them work to find that message in your copy. Tell them immediately. Even a subject line as basic as finally a solution to joint pain is going to be far more effective, I guarantee, than a subject line like this if you know the person suffers from joint pain. Again, joint pain generally is quite a vague term. Like, I don't know, if you know it's their back, for example, even better. But just immediately think about your copy in that way. I think that as a beginner, especially, you can get very caught up in the idea of like thinking about the tactics of copy and thinking about like, I should write this as a question, or I should, like, be indirect. Like, screw all of that for a second. Just think, would this get their attention? Like, that's the first thing. Is this going to get their attention? Does it kind of communicate that there's a reason they should read this right now? You don't need to think about any tactics. You just need to think, how would I get their attention right this second? Like, what is going to strike out the most directly at the problem that they have? So that's the first thing. Dear John, healthy joints determine your quality of life. Yes, but I know this. You don't need to repeat this for me. You could instead talk about how much it sucks to have joint pain. This is kind of just telling me something that I already know. If you have unhealthy joints, those day-to-day activities that once were easy become physically demanding. Again, I know all of this. You're telling me stuff that I already know. The subject line alone could have done all the work that these two lines so far are trying to get to. One side, he's created joint pain crisis due to a significant amount of hours sitting in front of a computer screen. Does that matter to me right now? Not really. I don't care how I've got joint pain. I just want to know how to get rid of it. Unless you're going to tell me that that's the reason I have joint pain, and I'm going to continue to, is because of the way I'm sitting, then it's not really relevant. I just want to get rid of this joint pain. Yeah, even worse, the thing you love the most, spending hours in front of the TV watching your favorite soaps. These activities seem harmless, but it actually has a negative impact on your joints. Click here if your healthy joints are important to you from pure flexibility. So if the idea of this email is that watching TV and sitting in computers is causing them to have joint pain, my question would be, why is that the idea of your email? Where is this going? You've spoken about the end goal is to get them to click a link to go to the landing page. What's on the landing page? Is the offer going to be about a program to help you sit more healthily and to make sure your posture is right when you're sitting at computers? Is it going to be for an e-commerce product that is meant to fight this so they can continue sitting like that? Is this going to be some kind of device that they can put around themselves when they're in certain situations? You need to know these things, because that's going to determine the kind of copy you write to get there. Because so far, you're saying, you're kind of implying that, hey, you shouldn't be doing these things. I'm going to tell you all the things you shouldn't be doing that are screwing up your joints. That's not telling me that's not telling me you're going to get rid of the joint pain. You're just saying, hey, you need healthy joints. Don't do this stuff if you want healthy joints. All I know right now is I have joint pain and it's horrible and I want to get rid of it. Are you going to help me with that or not? I don't need all this cryptic stuff. But if you're instead determining that the idea here is that this is all about a course they have to go on, or a way to prevent further problems as they get older, then you may frame this in a completely different way. But again, talking from personal experience, if someone has a problem, they want it solved immediately, you need to really jump at that. So that's what I would say for this email. Okay. Pop chat open on phone. I don't even say. Yeah, maybe. Like, I was thinking of having like YouTube running so I can see what you guys are saying, but also get a couple of comments from Twitch. So like, I don't want to exclude those people. So I don't know. Screw it. Let's try. Hey, I'm top of the list. Okay, let's have live chat open there. I'm gonna like look down there and see if anyone has spoken to me, but I'm gonna bite my brownie first. Mm-hmm. Nice room. Thanks, Marius. Don't get used to it. I will be moving soon. I will be moving somewhere nicer. I mean, I love this place. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is a lovely apartment, and there's a lot of good memories here. But moving somewhere that is a place I've wanted to move to for a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, cool. Amazon product description. I'm going to zoom out just for a second, guys, just to have a look at what this actually is. Oh my god. Okay, so you've even linked the creatives. Interesting. So is this? I'm going to guess this is the product image reel. Whew. All right. Headline. Bullets. A+ content. The blocks for Amazon. Okay. So for everyone looking at this who doesn't know about Amazon pages, I again, transparency, guys, I haven't done a ton of Amazon product descriptions. Like, really, I've probably done like, I don't know, a few dozen. But it's never been my focus. I've always preferred working with people who have their own stores. And I've always preferred having my own stores myself. But Amazon pages work in a way that you can design by blocks, and you can also design across a store. So what that means is, like, you have your own store, and then in each product that you have within that store, or the link to your store, can have the same like collection of blocks if you want, or they can have individual ones. So that's what this means when it says blocks. And then, of course, there's always the creative section where you have the image reel, and then you have the product box on the right. So that has the description, that has the price, the title, the options for subscription, stuff like that. Okay, so RIOA. RIOA, for anyone who doesn't know, reader, idea, offer, action, which is my kind of take on the rule of one that I came up with, that helped me when I was starting out copywriting. Always helpful to have this at the top of the page, so thank you. Reader, smokers who've been smoking cigarettes for a long time want to give it up. The idea is give up smoking for the last time, guaranteed, if you're serious about it. The offer is 60 capsules for $60. And the action is for the reader to buy, obviously, because it's Amazon. Context is full Amazon product description I've written a draft for my client. Here's the link to the product. Let's have a look at the product. Is this live then? Like, is the copy live, or is this different? I assume this is still the old copy. So let's zoom in, and we can read this together while I'm having another chomp. Okay. So, product, and the first thing that everyone does on Amazon, because I have seen product testing of this, the first thing everyone does is they look at two things. Okay. First thing they do, if they don't look at the description first, they look at the title / image just to make sure it's the thing they're expected to see, and then they look at the reviews. And you know what the second most common thing that people do on Amazon is? Oh, well, you know what the first most common thing that people on Amazon do is add to cart. That is the most common action on an Amazon product page, is add to cart. It's not back out. It's not scrolling down to the bottom. It's not clicking through the images. It's adding to cart. That is the most common thing that people do when they get onto a product page. Interesting. Again, like, I have a whole masterclass on ecom product pages, where I explain my reasoning, my philosophy for e-commerce. So I won't go into that too much now. And the second most common thing is they go to the reviews. They go to the ratings. Because they want to see what other people have looked at. Reason being for those two things, by the way, is because if you're on an Amazon product page, number one, it's probably because you've decided you already want to buy that thing, or it was the one at the top that you think looks the best. Or number two, because you've nearly decided you want to buy that thing, but you want to see what other people say about it. So makes sense. Those are the most common things that people do. So that's the first thing I'll come down is have a look at these. Use as part of a combo. So far, so good. Didn't work for me. Amazon product descriptions, and I'm No, who you need to drop your real name, if whatever you want to, so I don't just call you No, who submitted this, was speaking to me about Amazon product descriptions, and one of the things I said to him is look, like the product descriptions on Amazon like are not the most important part of it. Most important part of it is how high up are you on Amazon, basically, / how well is the product being advertised, and number two, how good are the reviews, because those are the things ultimately they're going to convince the most people to buy. They do the 80%. Now, you still should optimize the 20% of product descriptions, of course, but it's just something to keep in mind, because if someone comes on this and they come down and then they see that, you know, it hasn't worked, you know, that's always a tough thing to overcome. But don't worry, because I'm going to give you advice on how to overcome that, which we'll get to in a moment. And then you can see these are the sections I was talking about. So you can have a banner, which is like the shop, basically. And then you can have images here, or you can have dual blocks, I think they've introduced recently. So we can see that it helps them quit. It helps you get rid of the symptoms, and it repairs your lungs. So it means that you're healthy. I say as I bite into a brownie. And then there's an ingredients breakdown. So we can see what it is, and a bit of stuff about the company. Okay, there we go. So we have an understanding of what the product is, and we've had a little look at the bullets. It works. How does it work? Are there side effects, benefits? Will it work for me? Those are what the people have decided to go with. Let's have a look at what your alternatives are. So, headline, is this the same? Vice-Spray, quit smoking for the last time, stop smoking within 30 days, cleanse, detox, repair your lungs, quit smoking, aid, stop smoking within 30 days, clean your lungs, eliminate cravings, regain your health and detox, 100% natural without any nicotine or side effects. Yeah, pretty strong. Again, the thing that I'm going to tell everyone about product descriptions is you need to meet the expectations of the reader. What are the things that they're really looking to see? Meet their expectations and then fight their objections. So those are the two things you want to be doing with a product description for any kind of e-com product. Or for most e-com products anyway. So is that doing this? Quit smoking, stop smoking within 30 days. Great. That's given me a time frame to work within. It's probably something I'm looking to do because I want to quit quickly. Clean your lungs, eliminate cravings. Yep, agree with that. Things I need to do. 100% natural without any nicotine or side effects. Okay, great. Those might be really, really useful things that I want to know. I don't know because I don't know anything about the smoking niche or the quit smoking niche, but seems fine for me. Bullets. Let's have a look at your bullets, mate. So, proven to make you quit for the last time. Designed to make you never go back to smoking again. Vice-Breaker is guaranteed to work for smokers serious about quitting. Until now, 26,852 smokers have used Vice-Breaker to quit smoking for the last time, regain their health, finally break free of nicotine addiction. Nikki US said, I'm so thankful I came across this. It helped me kick a 30-year habit. Now, generally speaking, I think this is a pretty good bullet for Amazon description. I would be careful about the claims that you're making. I don't know how strict Amazon are with the claims you make on pages, but saying guaranteed to work is when you have a review section full of people saying it didn't work, could be seen by Amazon as you can't lie. So I would be careful about, how you're saying that. I would reframe. If you do have some kind of guarantee, then obviously talk about it. Say, guarantee a 30-day guarantee to quit smoking or your money back if that's something that you have set up with the business. If not, I wouldn't be using words like guarantee. I would say designed to help people who are serious about quitting, or only intended for use by serious, people who want to quit or something like that. Implying that, but not actually saying yes, this is guaranteed. Oh, your name is Alex, right? I've seen you in the chat say Alex, but I didn't know if you were just referencing me. Okay, awesome. Fantastic. And I think I knew that now you've said it as well anyway. So proven to make you quit for the last time. I again would say proven to make you quit for the last time. I don't know how Amazon are going to view that, so just be careful. But I'm assuming you've taken this like quitting for the last time. I'm my very limited knowledge about smoking. I imagine that's probably quite a common bit of IVOC that you get, indirect voice of customer data, like people saying, oh, I need to quit for the last time, because I imagine people quit and then come back to it. So I think that's probably quite a good thing to open up with, because you're speaking to them in their language with terms that they understand, that yes, I need to quit for the last time because it's what I keep saying I need to do. So I think that's probably quite a strong way to start. Save a lot of money. Smoking costs a lot. The average American smoker smokes 14 cigarettes a day. That's $168 a month, and over money could be spent on family. Okay, so immediately I'm going to say that I don't think that this bullet should be in this page. Now, reason being is that if someone's on a product page for something that's going to help them quit smoking, they don't need to be convinced to quit smoking, because they've already been as convinced as they need to be to quit. That's not your job. The reason they're on your product page is to see if this is the right method for them to quit, and if it's going to be the easiest thing for them, and if it's going to be, hassle-free, and if it's going to make them, have horrible side effects, or if it's going to be damaging or whatever. They're here because they know they want to quit. You don't need to spend time convincing them they need to quit. If this was about how the product itself can save you loads of money, like compared to other products, if that's like one of the big objections they have to this, if this is one of the big things where they're like, oh, I kind of want to quit, but everything seems quite expensive, maybe I should go for something else, then yeah, you can say like, what the most cost effective way to quit smoking. You can say that because cost effective means nothing. I don't know if that is a big objection that people have, so I maybe wouldn't lead with that. You've done the research, so you're going to understand what people care about more. But again, that's something that I would say that I don't think the idea of this bullet needs to be said on this page. Become strong and healthy again. Vice Breaker helps body cleanse, detox, remove nicotine toxins. It also reduces withdrawal symptoms. Okay, great. Again, I would say like this is kind of leaning into like, yeah, this is why I want to quit smoking. You're talking more about like how the detox thing is here and reduces withdrawal symptoms. Again, like this here strikes me as a more, again, I've not done the research into to quit smoking, so I don't know, but that strikes me as more of a thing people are probably worried about. Remember, with bullets and with product descriptions, you're trying to remove as many objections that they have to buying the product right now. They're looking for every reason in the world to not buy right now because they don't want to spend money. You need to make it so convincing and difficult for them to not buy. And a way to do that is to overcome their objections that they have to buying the product. Now, one of the things they might be thinking is, oh yeah, but like, what if it gives me loads of side effects? What if my withdrawal symptoms are really bad because they were last time? If it reduces withdrawal symptoms and that's something they care about, a big headline here like reduces withdrawal symptoms, I think would be better. And just a note, like I think this format you've done is great. Like, all caps, like main point followed by some extra proof and detail. Tried and tested strategy and product descriptions. Well done. I think that's a really good format. Again, I just think about what are the big objections they have to buying your product right now. What are the things they really want to hear about your product? Become strong and healthy again seems more like it's just trying to appeal to like just stopping smoking, but reducing withdrawal symptoms, now that sounds like something that, oh yeah, actually other products haven't spoken about that, or that is something that really worried me the last time I quit, or that's a general fear I have about quitting at all. So again, something to consider. for yourself. Do you see how I'm going into a similar theme here, which is just remember why they're on your page to begin with. I still think something to say though, by the way, is like, I still think that like position how you've positioned this kind of stuff, is better than the current thing that they have going. It works. How does it work? Side effects, benefits. Will it work for me? Like putting benefits is such a just lazy copy. And like, will it work for me? It's not like bad. But again, how much stronger would this be if it was like it was calling out the people that it would work for? You know, for the people who have failed 50 times before. For those who want this to be the last time, how much more effective would that be rather than just a general kind of catch-all statement? No side effects to your health. Okay, great. Like, yep, that's definitely something that I imagine would be a big objection for them right now. So yeah, having that front and center, nice. Made from 100% natural ingredients. Unlike other smoking aids, cool. You're making this seem a bit more unique, positioning it against position. It doesn't contain any nicotine or chemical ingredients. With Icebreaker, you won't have to worry about your stomach acting up, short temper, or other side effects can harm your health. Great, that's what I want to hear. That's put my mind at rest. See, good bullet. Why does Vicebreaker work so well? Vicebreaker is a smoking cessation aid. Its 100% ingredients work to block out all the nicotine receptors in your brain. This eliminates nicotine cravings, so you stop smoking. All you have to do is experience these benefits. Take one capsule in the morning and one in the evening for 30 days. Yeah, again, pretty decent bullet. Like, I think the start of this could be better. Like, why does Vicebreaker work so well? If instead you were drumming up like this part of it specifically, and you can just say something around like, I don't know, exclusive or unique. Just have the word unique or exclusive, block out nicotine receptors, like in exclamation marks. That immediately draws me to like, okay, so this is something unique. It's something I'm only going to get here. Gets this point across even quicker instead of this just seeming like kind of a generic, like, oh, why does it work? Which a lot of people just skim over anyway. Make it interesting to read, make it attention grabbing. Because I think this is a pretty strong like bullet because you're going into detail about this is why it's different. And ultimately, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear that this is something they're only going to get at this page, so they don't have a reason to back out and look for other options. Okay. So I have up my phone now. The actual copy is the Google Doc, by the way. That is your copy. Yeah. Okay. So this is the actual copy. Should the last bullet be first? Interesting point. I think that the way that I always frame this is that. If you guys have watched my 5-hour video, you know how I like to do my research with IVOC summaries and ranking them by frequency and intensity. I always like to, with product descriptions, put the biggest objections first, like overcoming those first. And then I always like to end with quite a big one as well, like usually the second or third biggest. Sometimes it's to do with guarantees as well and things like that. I don't think there's any perfect order for bullets. I just think that generally speaking, the more important they are, the higher up they should be, because that tends to be how people read. But I always like ending with a strong one as well, because people tend to kind of skim down to the bottom. So I'm not saying this should be at the top. The only person who can decide that is Alex, because he knows the market better than any of us will. And then this is, of course, again, you'll find that most people will make a decision based on the title and the ratings, the image and the ratings. These bullets just help to get them over the edge and to be that last 20%. Honestly, this kind of stuff on Amazon tends to not be like crazy effective. It's better to have it for sure because it's longer copy and it tends to win out. The more details and information you have, the better. But again, usually when people are on Amazon, they're usually making kind of quicker decisions. What's so great about Vicebreaker? It's the only smoking aid guaranteed to make you quit. Again, you need to check that if you're allowed to say things like that. Cravings will stop and withdrawal symptoms become manageable. You'll never want to pick up another cigarette again. You regain your health. Other smoking aid, yeah, comparison charts are quite simple, quite common. Sorry. Okay, right. So in terms of what you've done, I think that there's a lot of good stuff here to go off. I would watch this bit back and kind of take what I've said to heart around just really considering if these objections are the best objections for the person watching this, for the person reading this, and if you are doing extra work for yourself, trying to convince them to quit smoking, or if you're actually trying to fight the objections they will have to buying your product. Because again, this is prime real estate up here, so you don't want to waste it trying to tell them something they already know. You want to make it useful by starting somewhere that they know they care about, and then showing them why this product is the thing to deliver it. And then you've got obviously these creatives as well, which I would honestly, I would also have the first image. I wouldn't just have on a white background. I would have it like next to someone who's like smiling and someone who looks healthy, because that's proven to work. Anything that looks quite clinical immediately kind of puts people off, because it seems a bit like, oh, I'm not, seems a bit harsh, doesn't seem very natural. No one really likes taking pills. So yeah, so just a quick note on creatives. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Hopefully, I know we were talking about bullets the other day in product descriptions, so let me know if that did help. I hope you can go away and punch your stuff up, guys. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do really quick fire ones, because I feel bad whenever I don't finish these. With Whetstone Wednesdays, you really need to be on it. Like, as soon as you get a notification, just like, right, boom, in. Because the first 2 or 3, I think, get loads of attention. So, okay. Hey, you. Yeah, you scrawny boy. Was this written for me? Don't go on steroids when you can take these. Okay, maybe it isn't quite like steroids. However, there are science-backed and highly effective supplements. Tomcat Alley clinical trials have observed increased up to 48.6% total testosterone, up to 68.2% in free testosterone. Dogia observed a 6% increase. Why be average when we have a deal where you can book today? But okay, there's a lot to this. Let me show you Christian now. First, say Christian has changed man. His blood test show you changed man too. Testosterone going from that to that. There is no insignificant change. I don't know anything about like these these phrases, so I don't know if that's good. But again, 30% discount till next week. Click your name. So congrats, Christian. Okay. I need more information on who this is going to, and if this is just a general lift email to a list. But is the list previously engaged? Is it brand new? Do people know they were signing up for this kind of thing? Have they bought similar supplements before? Alex, glad it helped. So thank you very much. Good luck with getting the product descriptions right. I know you're going to go and kill it. I think that I need more information about what this email is actually, who it's for, and who's seeing it. As for the subject line, it's always risky whenever you're insulting. I actually think probably to the people who are on lists like these, insults probably work, because I find that all kind of like gym bro and like top G twats have a kind of like masochistic nature at heart, and they really just want to be like whipped by more alpha males and told that they're not good enough. They call other people gay, but to me, the shit that they seem to be into is a slightly less manly than I think they think it is. Having other men tell you that you are crap. So I imagine this would probably work quite well for them, because they seem to like that. So hey, you scrawny boy. I actually think like if that's something that I don't think that's a bad subject line in terms of actually grabbing attention. It would probably get through most email filters as well, so fine there. And if you're someone, I don't know, who really cares about like your body, or you're just starting your journey, or you're not yet satisfied with it, then I actually think that's probably it's quite an urge to act. And something that's going to make you open it because you have these insecurities with your body and you feel like, oh god, yeah, I am a scrawny boy, like I need something. So I actually think the subject line is quite decent. I think that a lot of this is fluff. Don't go on steroids when you can take these. Okay, maybe it isn't quite like steroids. These are highly science-backed and highly effective supplements. Like this kind of stuff. I think that you need to set more of a frame up for this email. Like, what is it actually trying to do? Like you talk about this guy called Christian. Like, great, make it all about him. So you can say like he was like this and now he's like this. Again, I can't imagine like calling that as someone who's scrawny. But I'm also not into fitness, so maybe that is. I think that this email is just a bit all over the place, and it probably could be about 4 or 5 lines. My advice would be go through this and ask, is this line actually doing anything? So, for example, why be average when we have a deal where you can pick both up today for 30% off? Like, you haven't even showed me the supplements yet. Like, something that would be far more effective is just showing, like, hey you, you scrawny boy, having that subject line. Then just say, if you haven't achieved your weight goals, it's probably because you haven't heard of these. Image of the bottle, or the pill bottle, wherever it comes in. Christian, these are X times more effective than like working out, or this is like an extra workout session, each day or something like that. Christian's been using them and he went from this to this in just 12 weeks. In honor of his transformation, we're doing 30% off so you can start today. Like, click below. And then maybe at the bottom you can have some kind of scientific thing where it's like, oh, his testosterone increased from this to this, if testosterone is something that these guys really care about. So again, like, there's a lot of this stuff that, crank his fitness to a whole new level. Worked out hard and had a rigorous diet. This stuff isn't enough. He wanted the dream physique. Like, this stuff is all kind of inferred by the person anyway who's opened this email, because they've accepted they're a scrawny boy. So just ask the question, is like, are these lines doing anything, or could I do so much more with so much less? It's called a boot camp. I don't know what that was in reference to, Hough, I'm afraid. This is my other problem, is I forget the things that I've said. Introducing the new Patreon. Oh, okay. Updates for creators. I'm getting distracted. So there you go. That's what I would say for that. Copy of tax law. Oh god, you guys are killing me. Unlike a tax-free life that isn't haunted by the IRS. Get back the peace of mind you deserve. Secure tax services from Jacksonville, Florida, to rate tax-free professionals. How would you? Yeah. Business. Escape deep water tax trouble with our world-class tax results. Common tax issue safe. Why choose ours? Get out from tax questions every single day. Honestly, I can just tell from skimming through this. If this is for like a local kind of services, local kind of tax services webpage, it's actually quite good. I can tell you just from glancing at this. Unlike a tax-free life that isn't haunted by the IRS, yes, I imagine that's definitely something that people are worried about who are considering a more professional outlook on their taxes. Saying that you're Jacksonville's top rated professionals, you've got a photo there, you've got awards, you've got proof. Book your free tax relief consultation today. I would probably add some copy underneath this button that says, like, it's a totally non-committal 30-minute conversation where we can give you an idea of how to better organize your taxes, even if you decide not to work with us. Something like that. Something that is nice, simple. God gives me even more of a reason to act on this today, because there's no pressure on me. Good proof showing that that these people are trusted beyond just that. More proof showing they're recognized by people. Specific instance of how they did something to did something for a person, a client. We paid less than 5% of what we owed in total. Loads of great testimonials here. And if I'm thinking about this, all I need is to click this button, because I know that I need a professional who can tell me what to do. I think I may something I may add to this is, I would say, you know, what kind of tax is this helping? Is this a person who's like their own tax personally? Is it their small business? Like, what is it? Just so you're directly calling out the kind of people you want to talk to. That is the one thing I would add to this hero section, is call out those people you want to speak to, because it's going to make it even quicker for them to just have a look. But yeah, good use of testimonials and real life stories, because once I've seen all this stuff and it's made me go like, oh yeah, this is the idea, I definitely want this. Oh, they seem professional. Oh, okay, it's no committed, that's all I have to do, there's clear CTA. Oh, and it is for people like me as well. Great, I kind of know now, yeah, I probably want to talk to these guys. All I need to do is scroll down, see there's proof, and then see they've helped others. Great. And look, and then you go even further by saying, well, we've got a step-by-step plan that we go through. Here's more of our results in quantities. Here's a bunch of stuff. So you're really looking through this page. Oh yeah, like I know that I have problems with this and that. So honestly, without even going through this copy in detail, I can already tell you this is better than 90% of services pages that I see. So good job, whoever submitted this. I think this is decent copy, and I think it's going to do quite well, considering, especially if they're kind of trying to funnel traffic of people who care about this stuff here. So very decent. Get help from tax professionals who do taxes every single day. The fact of the matter is that tax problems never get better with time, only worse. Owing money to the IRS for extended periods of time is expensive. Look at this, giving me a reason to act right now. Like, oh yeah, I should do this. You know, these guys seem professional. They know what they're talking about. They've called out to me, and they are making the point that, you know, I have to get on this right now. We'll team you up with an assist by reaching out quickly to the IRS, state tax collection. We'll do all this stuff for you, making it seem easy. Mine tax issue, more stuff about them that I imagine you have to have on there. More testimonials, and then FAQs at the bottom. How much this all cost? Would be great to see the copy to that. Pop out bar appears to deliver answers. Okay, I don't know if I can see those, but or is this? Oh, okay. Right, so how much does it all cost? We certainly get tax attorney jobs screams costly. It's more than understandable. To evaluate your specific, you deliver a comprehensive pricing proposal banded upon tax burdens currently out with flexibility. Okay, I would definitely say can start from X dollars just to try and get people on the phone, and then you can start building out that expectation. This may not completely overcome that objection, and it's going to be one that probably they care about a lot, or give them actually just a decent idea of an average, you know, from the get-go. I've seen that work quite well, to try and get people on the phone on a call. You can be very honest and just say, you know, typically it starts from, $500, but we can come in much cheaper than that, and we offer payment plans and stuff like that. You can mention the payment plans in here. Sometimes it's quite good to have very, very clear pricing and very upfront pricing, especially when you've already done a really good job of showing them that they, you know, this is probably somewhere they want to be. What the heck has got? What makes it different? What's the difference between that and that? Again, I know nothing about American tax, really, which I probably should, considering I pay it. But hence I have accountants. But I think that this is probably quite common stuff that people ask, so you will know that better than I will. But again, the whole point of FAQ section for anyone watching is to just be a quick objection firer. Just like, right, here are your big objections. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of this page and bang, 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 bang. These things are probably stopping you from getting in touch. So let's do it. I would. There you go. I was about to say I would add one about, you know, the call and what they can expect, and you already have. Where was that? Free tax calculation is just that 100% free meeting, either in person or whichever method of your choice. Take time to analyze it. I would also just mention things to make it seem even easier, just saying, you know, you don't need to bring anything for your first meeting. It can be as little as 15 minutes. Give them those expectations, because those are the things that stop people from getting on demos, is that lack of kind of expectation. Make sure they know that it's only a certain, you know, amount of time, that kind of stuff. What was the last one? How do other tax relief businesses usually charge? Hey, copy that again. Okay, fair enough. I think I would maybe add some context to this as to why it matters that you're showing them all this. Position yourselves as the good guys. Say, we like to be really, really clear about our pricing and make it as easy for you as possible, so we don't do any of the below. you know, for example, that other agencies do. And then you say, and they do this because it makes it better for them, or they do this because they want to make sure they get this out of you. Like, we don't, you know, try and position yourself against the alternatives, because ultimately someone who's coming onto this page, they're always asking, yeah, but should I go with another service provider? Right? So give them a reason to not go with another service provider, which the copy generally is doing, but you can be a lot clearer about that when you get to these kind of sections. And then of course you got the form, so fine, stay in the loop, discover tax tactics every month in our newsletter. I say it's probably be stronger, you know, not just stay in the loop. If you could offer some kind of lead magnet here, it would be even better. I would even just recommend like a I don't know, a checklist, like just a simple checklist of like things you can, you know, like tax checks you can perform, like you can make in 20 minutes or less, or like 10 minutes or less, and then just, you know, ensure you're protected from these really simple things. It only takes a few minutes to check, and there's just 5 simple you know, make sure you've got these things checked off, because it's going to make your life a lot easier. It's kind of almost like a done for you thing, just to make people think like, oh, okay, yeah, I should probably have a look at this myself. So maybe mention it. I assume it's for a real website. If not, if it's a spec piece, cool also. But I would recommend, you know, offering some kind of easy lead magnet, literally just a page, maybe a small booklet, like digital booklet, just of things that they can check themselves to make them feel good, to make them feel like you're giving them something that's going to help protect them. And then you can also mention, plus we'll send you tax tips each month. So they know that it's going to be a rolling thing. But I think that would make it far more likely for people to have a look. Similarly, if you know you're in Jacksonville, Florida, localize this kind of stuff. You know, if those are the only people coming to you, you can say, you know, plus get monthly tips on Florida's taxes, or what you must check if you pay tax in Florida. 5 easy points to check in less than 20 minutes. You know, something around that. Cool. But generally speaking, whoever it was who I can see there's been a bunch of messages in the chat, so I will check that in a minute. I don't know if that's the person I'm reviewing, but generally speaking, I think this is a solid web page, and I think that the messaging is fairly spot on. I think that I would want to know more about the specific funnel, because I think perhaps the hero section, the headline particularly, could be stronger based on where people are coming from and who is seeing it. I think that message, as a general message, especially as a kind of tagline, if you like, you know, if this is like a homepage, the tagline for a tax services broker, I think is quite a good one. But if you know that this is people who are coming from small businesses, or you know that they're being funneled from an ad of a particular sort, or an email list or something like that, then, you know, you might want to change this depending on what you know about them. But generally speaking, I think this does quite well as a service-based page. It's got very clear CTA. I would just say, you know, just make certain things a bit clearer, make them feel like it's gonna be really easy and simple for them. I think you've taken the right approach with showing loads of people they've helped. I would perhaps move this section up, because it certainly from my experience with service-based businesses, people tend to use their websites as like a quick check to see if they do the thing that I need doing right now. So plumbers, for example, like, you know, do you do leaks? Do you do faulty pipes? Do you do toilets? Do you do sinks? Do you do kitchen sinks? Do you do outside plumbing? Like this kind of stuff. And it's just like, sometimes someone will have a specific thing in mind, and having that higher up, maybe even in the hero section, just to show like, these are the things we cover. So when people, they like your headline, they understand, they think, yeah, this looks really good. And oh yeah, they do this thing that I'm considering right now, like small business tax, or like, oh, they do personal stuff, or like, oh yeah, they deal with, you know, someone who already owes money or is in debt. Just to immediately get that off my mind, like, oh yes, okay, right, these guys are going to understand me then. But I think the structure is really good. I think that, you know, for a service-based web page, I think this copy is, again, better than 90% that I see. So well done. Okay, let's read this. Oh, it's Breezy. Hey, it's Breezy. Hey, Breezy. No need to deep dive if you don't want to. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, but I did anyway. Work my ass off. I should go back to the studio, and then I can do the thing on the screen. Work my ass off researching and putting this together. This one, it shows. It really shows, dude. So well done. great insight in there on optimizing that. Thank you. Love that, offering value and then sliding in the newsletter. Yeah, like just having a lead magnet. Like when that's often something whenever I used to talk to companies and clients about like building their list up, or they would say to me like, hey, we want to get more people, we want to get more people's emails. We have a newsletter. One of the easiest things was just offer something that's useful for anyone who's visiting your page. I remember we did one for a wine club. I remember in particular, and they had a newsletter, and it was a classic. It was just like, join our newsletter. Like that was what the CTA was. But I remember we created a pairing guide, like how you properly pair wines with food. And the not tagline, but like the kind of headline was just like, impress your friends with pairing knowledge or something, like pairing knowledge. Because, the people visiting know a little bit about wine. And, the subtitle was something like, something around, like learn like the traditional ways that wine should be drunk with meals. Pocket this, and then like you have, I don't know, like knowledge for life, or something around like you know this. Once you know this, then you don't have to worry about it again at parties or something like that. And fucking signups went up like 1,000%. Something absolutely stupid. It was like, literally had like, no, not 1,000%. That's probably too much. No, 1,000%. Yeah, because that's 10 times. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's 1,000%. So I think it went from like, maybe a few dozen people joining like every week to like hundreds of people joining every week, because they wanted that. So yeah, anything like that that's useful. Again, useful has been a theme of this Whetstone Wednesday. Your copy looks good. People are usually scared and repercussions, confused about the process, and also skeptical since tax can be really scammy. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that assessment, Marcos. Pricing is also a big thing about whether to go to CPA or attorney. Lead magnet idea. Do I need a CPA, attorney, or both? There you go. May well be. I don't know what a CPA is, and I don't really use the word attorney, so I'm going to take your word for it that would be a good one. But you are going to know a lot more about tax than I am. So cool. I hope that helped, Breezy. Give them a show. Hey, this is a masterclass that I wrote, filmed. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours. Christ. Okay. So, same thing as before. There's still 20 people watching. You guys are saints. Same thing as before. This is for one of our products. This is for a masterclass that I did around CV writing, which you know what? I'm gonna be honest for a second. I'm gonna get a little bit sentimental. I've done a lot of stuff that I am proud of and that I like, especially in like e-commerce. But genuinely, I think the thing that I am like proudest of is my CV. Like, it is the way that I come up with that like CV idea, and because like it was completely novel, and I'd never seen anyone else approach it like that. And it's actually, I know my copywriting videos and stuff has helped people, and e-com series has helped people and stuff, but like I've had a few people, whenever someone says to me like they took my CV advice on board and they used it and they got a job, like that absolutely just makes my week. So this masterclass in particular, and anyone kind of going for in-house positions who use my like resume CV thing, like really means a lot to me. So this is a special one for me. Okay, so context of this is it's a masterclass about how to create a great CV/resume if you're a copywriter or marketer, or just anyone, but generally anyone in like a marketing position. I think I think will benefit from this because we can usually get away with being a bit more creative. Yeah, I mean, you can see I'm sure this will give you an idea of my philosophy when it comes to writing CVs. That's my CV there. Where do your eyes go? So I like this a lot. I wrote this, so I know what I was going for when I was writing this and when I recorded it. So let's see So let's see how this person has decided to write. All right. Let me just check what is it right now? First impression report, and especially when it comes to applying for jobs. For the first impression most people present with their CV resume is less than memorable and often inspiring. The key line jobs isn't having a resume that lists why you're the best candidate. It's showing the reader a compelling narrative that makes you stand out from the crowd. In this 2-hour masterclass, Alex lays out his golden rules for CVs and resumes, structuring your own. I'm not even sure who wrote that. Maybe Rod wrote that. This masterclass is also available on Patreon. Oh yeah, which is also another thing to mention. Again, guys, like if any of these masterclasses that I'm going through, you go like, oh god, like would really like to see that, but it's $20 on its own. The other one's like $40. Like most of these are on our Patreon, like for free, in the sense that you sign up, you pay for the Patreon, but then you get all of these that you would otherwise have to pay for free. So yeah, I would recommend if you want to buy a masterclass, just join the Patreon, and then if there's more stuff in there you find interesting, then just stay. Which is also something to mention. I'll be dropping. Me and Sean did a mini masterclass for the Patreon yesterday, 2 days ago, which I think might already be up. I think it's like, and it's all about pattern interrupts and getting people's attention and cold outreach and stuff like that. So that was fun. And then also this week I will be filming. I will film another masterclass here. I'll be filming something all about e-commerce and about how to get into e-commerce, like as a copywriter and marketer, and just advice on like how to start, why it's great, how to make a lot of money out of it. And so yeah, if in Patreon you'll be getting that. That will be probably a fairly long one. And you'll get it if you're part of the Patreon. So just if you're watching and you care, thought I'd let you know. Okie doke. Let's read this. Let's go back to comments quickly because chartered professional accountant. Yeah, that makes sense. Very valuable feedback. Appreciate it, Alex. Breezy, I appreciate you. You always drop insightful conversation and joyful comments and good copy. So I appreciate having you here, man. Do you recommend in-house or freelance? Oh man, this is a whole rabbit hole. I don't want to get down into this right now. I think we've spoken about this before in our 101 series. Something I also let you guys in on is that some of you might know this already, but we're currently creating like a massive free course right now that's going to go on YouTube. And I'm kind of championing and writing the outreach part of it, which is already like 23 pages worth of script, and I've only done like one method of outreach so far. So I'm going to talk about in-house and freelance in that. So you'll get my views on that very soon. Whoever submitted this did so in the perfect time. Someone who's personally benefited from masterclass greatly. Oh, that's fun. Thank you, Breezy. I appreciate that. Again, really nice to hear that. So anyway, let's actually look at the description. Everyone gets the same advice about writing a resume. What does that produce? A lot of resumes that, when you squint, look identical. And then, of course, that's going to be next to it. But in this 2-hour masterclass, Alex Myatt takes you through the resume that had an 80% callback rate and ultimately landed him the $100,000 in-house role he currently holds. If you want to stand out and make yourself unforgettable to clients or hiring managers, you can't miss this class. Note this page. Deliverable one full-length video link delivered automatically to your email. Okay, what do I like about this? I like that the idea it's going for, I think, is a compelling one, and I think it's one that's gonna, again, almost gives value away in the sense that you're going to give some people that light bulb moment who are looking at this going, oh yeah, that makes sense as to why I need to know this, especially when it's next to this screenshot, which I don't even know if it was intentional that we have that, but I think that's a good screenshot to have. In this 2-hour masterclass, Alex takes you through a resume that had an 80% callback rate, and ultimately landed him a $100,000 in-house role he currently holds. Great use of proof. Both true, both things I say in the masterclass, and well used here because it's showing that I am, I am worth listening to when it comes to this subject. If you want to stand out and make yourself unforgettable to clients or hiring managers, you can't miss this class. Yep, I think that's great. I would maybe add, if you want to land higher paying roles, even if you feel underqualified, that's probably something that's going to really stand out to people, because I think that is an objection and a worry a lot of people have when going for in-house roles, because people get nervous. So I would maybe add that, because I think that's something that's really going to speak to people. But generally speaking, you're continuing on with this idea. I would say that even though I love this idea, I think this isn't bad. This isn't like bad copy. I think it's slightly confusing. I think it's slightly clumsily assembled, like these first two lines. Everyone gets the same advice about writing a resume. Like that is a fine kind of but you're kind of setting up the next sentence. I would say what you're trying to say in this first sentence, so there's no like confusion about what you're trying to say. So I would change this to something around the lines of like almost all, even just saying I practically guarantee that all the resume writing advice you've received is BS or doesn't work, right? I would start with something like that, saying like all the stuff you've read or all the stuff that other people are doing in resumes is crap, like does not work. Instead, there is a method that's proved 80% effective, or there is something that is almost guaranteed to get you to land you interviews or something like that. So immediately there's no kind of confusion around this. Like, what does that produce? A lot of resumes that when you squint look identical. Again, I think that's fine to kind of say and produce value, but I wouldn't start with this. I would start going for the jugular of saying like, all the other information you've had out there is crap. You're immediately telling me why this is unique and why this is useful for me to look at and to potentially buy. So that would be my one point of this. I think this kind of idea is fine to like then use as a crutch to go into this stuff, but I would start with just saying like, hey, look, this is the only place you're going to get this kind of information. Let me know I'm in the right place. So there you go. But generally, I think that's quite good. Hack the interview system and increase your chance of getting an interview by 1,354%. This is just a little writing thing, but I don't like that you've used interview there and interview there because it made me stumble on my words. Is that true? Like, maybe I say that in the class. Like, do I say like I was getting this many and then I got this many interviews or something? Hack the system and increase your chance of getting an interview by. I think this is I think this is good. I would want to maybe a slight expansion of proof around this, and just clean up the copy a little bit. This masterclass will rocket you to the top of the pile for jobs that could pay $99,000, $124,000, or even $160,000 per year, all by using skills you have already mastered but never applied like this. Cool, pretty solid. Again, showing me like there are specifics here, so I'm assuming there's reasons for this. Saying that this will get you to where you need to be, telling me it's pretty easy because all you've got to do is this. By using skills you have already mastered. Okay, interesting, but never applied like this. So this is all making me feel like it's big and it's easy. There's stuff here that like isn't, I shouldn't need to do too much more to make sure that this wins. As a copywriter, you know that copy needs to be useful, urgent, unique, and ultra specific, which we were talking about earlier. Your resume needs to be the same thing, but that's not what you are taught. Does this advice sound familiar? It should be 2 pages or less. You should write professionally, how no one speaks. Use color sparingly. Like, again, like I like the way that you're framing this, because you're almost making this description, like we were talking about earlier, unique in itself. Useful in itself. So this almost feels valuable to me just reading it, and it makes me go light bulb, like, yes, that makes sense. And this is definitely something that people would recognize because everyone gets told this about CVs. What does this get you? A resume that looks like every other resume. Again, like using and expanding this stuff down here makes a lot more sense. In this masterclass, Alex leads you through a resume that got an 80% callback success rate. And spoiler alert, it was done by doing the opposite of what he had been taught. By applying his copywriting knowledge, he made his resume something the interviewers couldn't put down. The point of a headline is to entice readers to keep reading. The point of a resume is to get an interview so you can wow them in person. Before you apply for your next in-house role, find clients in our work, or go to your next networking event, you need to see the innovative and imaginative things Alex put into his resume. Your career is depending on it per year. Okay, so I think that the ideas that you have in this are good, and they are probably very, very similar to the ideas that I would apply. I think that some of the copy needs fine-tuning. I would say around kind of like here, it gets a bit flat. I think you've done enough at this point of like giving them kind of value and information that like, you shouldn't be doing any of this. Like, just think about it. You should write it like copy. You don't want something that looks like every other resume. You want something that is like the opposite of the things you've been taught, because that's going to make them go like, oh, that makes sense. I think you're going a bit too deep into it here, like saying, oh, it's just like a headline. Leave that for the masterclass to do. I would now start to remind them as to why this is so important for them to do now. Like remind them why this is urgent, and say like, this is the kind of thing that, this is the kind of, you need this masterclass because it's going to give you that edge over every other applicant. Because I can guarantee you that hardly anyone else out there is doing this, or you can be, you can feel assured that no one out there is doing something similar. So in every job you apply for, you're going to do the first thing that good copy needs to do: stand out. Like, I would go more into that at this point and remind them, position them against everyone else and say, look, you're going to get this and no one else is going to have it. Drum up the reason they should buy this class. Because you've given them this information, that's great. You now need to give them a reason to actually buy the class, because part of me kind of goes like, well, I know this now. I know, like, I shouldn't do any of this now, so why don't I just go and do it on my own? I would put more emphasis on, like, Alex shows you exactly how you can craft it. He gives you real life examples. He shows you how you can do it for yourself. He shows you what you should think about for your own to make it apply to you. He'll show you how to, and I'm sure you write this in the bullets, which we'll review in a moment. But I would start mentioning this kind of stuff here so we can transition into it. Don't let it fall flat and become kind of just like, see the innovative, imaginative things. Like, that doesn't mean anything. That's kind of just fluffy adjectives. Show me what is going to happen for me once I can do this. I don't care if it's imaginative and innovative. I care that I'm going to be better than 99% of other people out there. In this master, okay, again, let's do 5 bullets, because it's fucking so much later than I wanted it to be. Cool. In this masterclass, you'll see for yourself. Anyone can promise life-changing advice, but how do they prove it like Alex does? Dollars like these could be in your future in as little as 2 hours from now. I don't think that's a particularly strong bullet. I don't really know what it's trying to say. To me, this has the first bullet I read feels like it has nothing to do with CVs, or like what you've spoken about here. Anyone can promise life-changing advice, but do they prove it like Alex does? Are you talking about life-changing advice in the CV or just in this masterclass? That doesn't feel like it's. I think it's kind of, again, it's clumsily put together. I think this bullet. If it was framed as, I don't know what that bit is of the masterclass, but if you can reference whatever I say here and say, 414, like whatever Alex says, is life changing. Like Alex shows, how just one simple reframe or one simple change in your perception can completely change your fortunes when it comes to landing jobs or something like that. Why you can't trust your friends and family if you want to write a captivating, absorbing resume CV. Again, that's intriguing, but I want some more to that. Like, it's not like immediately relevant. I think there could be something there, but like, what is it you're saying? Is it because they give bad advice? Potentially. So I think it's kind of an intriguing idea, but I just need a bit more meat to that. Warning, if your resume or CV looks like this, you probably have a 5% success rate. Yep, okay, decent, because I want to know what to avoid. So, decent bullet. But again, you probably have a 5% success rate. Don't say you probably have 5% success rate, because you're kind of just saying, hey, if your CV looks like that, then, maybe you have this. Don't say that. Say, if your resume or CV looks like this, you are blowing your chances of landing clients. That's far more evocative. That's far more... oh, right, okay, so I need to make sure I don't do that, because in the future I'm not going to be getting clients. Can open loops work in a resume? You'll find out by the 29th minute of this video. I love how... What? It's 18 minutes, but then you say by minute 29. Okay.
Completely irrelevant information can make you more appealing. Learn why including your favorite board game could get you an interview. The first page of every other resume is the 12th page of this one. Flip their expectations on their head and keep them guessing. The golden rule of resume /CV writing hint has nothing to do with the job. That's interesting. Again, I like that because it's like, okay, here's the one thing you need to know, but it has nothing to do with your job. Oh my god. Alex should have 8 CVs. He's been on the other side and he knows what can go wrong. Don't make these mistakes. 90% of applicants did. Great. I love that. That's a decent bullet. Again, I think some of these need to be cleaned up, like, just like not having 3 dots in an ellipses and like some of the grammar every now and then. But like, look, that's great. Alex read over 80 CVs. I think that was just for one job. I've read a lot more than 80 CVs now. He's been on the hiring side and knows what can go wrong. Don't make the same mistakes that 90% of applicants did. Like showing that, like, oh, Alex he's on the inside as well, so he knows this. It's like you're not only are you getting someone who's landed jobs and can tell you what to do, you're also getting someone who hires people and knows what he hates copyright is doing. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Bonus Q&A. 2 Kings of Copy. Showmaker Mark 4 did a course on getting hired at the right place. Many points figured out. Is that included as a bonus? I can't even remember. I can't remember. I spoke to Mark Ford, funnily enough, the other day. Which sounds weird to say, but yeah. Anyway, here's what I'm going to say to you. I think that if you came back to me with a second draft and you did 2 things, one, you cleaned up this copy here and did what I mentioned earlier about making it more obvious as, okay, why is this urgent for me and why is it useful for me right now? Make it feel like, okay, yeah, no, I need to have this class, position it against what other people are doing. Make the small changes I made, I mentioned to this bit as well. That's number 1. And number 2, go away and practice bullets and get a bunch of different ideas for bullets. Watch the bullet writing streams that Sean and I did, and read the Clayton Makepeace letters, and then go back and delete half of these, or I would say challenge yourself to delete half of the most useless bullets in here. First of all, either delete them or change them into a way that you feel is actually going to be better, based on good bullet writing techniques that I've explained earlier on in this video, or that you go and see yourself. Because I want to pay you for this, but it's not quite there yet. So if you come back to me with a second draft and each of the bullets are good and you've made the changes that I mentioned, then I want to pay you for this because I think the idea is a good one. Okay. Oh dear. 1, 2, 3. 3 things left. Okay, guys, I'm gonna finish all of these, and I'm gonna go to bed past midnight. But thankfully, I'm working from home tomorrow, so I'll probably get out like half an hour later. And I'm gonna go through these. I might not do it in as much detail as I've done all of the other ones, but I will go through them. I left the comment up again. I'm sorry. Thanks, Josu. I'm not sure I am, but I try. Alex, please do one more so you print me a new one. Okay, Mark, I will. Sorry, I'm gonna do all of them. I feel like AI is getting better, and sometimes it feels like AI writes better than me. I think that, look, I've seen a lot of copywriters. Not all of them are great writers. I think that, honestly, like that piece I just reviewed, I don't know if that was yours or if you're just generally saying that, but like the piece I just reviewed, I think that the ideas there, I think, were right, and I think the structure was generally like good. I think that what people like, either you if you wrote that or the person who wrote that, needs to start thinking about is, how can I improve my actual comprehension in writing? And for that, I actually think writing bullets is a fantastic exercise, because it's short, punchy sentences. Sometimes they're structured in a strange way. It's often like individual words that act as emphasis, or you have certain rhetorical techniques based on like the Clayton Makepeace letter. So there's a lot to be said about practicing bullets, I think. I mean, I know it's something that Sean Sean always recommends for newbies as well, just generally, because they're a very versatile piece of form of copy. But I think if you feel like your writing isn't quite up to scratch, or you feel like, sometimes people go like, oh, this was worded clumsily, or the grammar wasn't spot on, there's nothing wrong with like practicing bullets, and also challenge yourself to learn more about grammar and like conversational speaking, and ingest copy every single day that the likes of good copywriters write. Read it. I genuinely believe if you spend 6 months reading 2 or 3 pieces of well-written copy every day, your vernacular and the way you write will just improve, because you'll start picking that up. It's just like when someone, I'm not saying you speak a foreign language, but I'm just saying it's like when someone who speaks foreign language goes to another country, and then they get better and better at picking up the dialect and stuff like that. It's like kids learning to do something by muscle memory, So AI is getting better and better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care about AI at the moment, to be honest. But yeah, that would be my advice to anyone who feels that way. AI isn't getting better. People are getting better at using AI. Yeah, that you may be right. One thing that's helped a ton is practicing those bullets every day, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Bullets are a fantastic skill to have. There is a massive stream that Sean and I did when I was in America. I don't think it's on YouTube. I think it's just on the Patreon. Where we were paying patrons to send in their bullets, and we paid them. I think it was $5 a bullet. I'm pretty sure we ended up paying like Evan or one of our patrons like $200. But yeah, like, go and practice bullets. It's really good. Okay. Petsmont Bodyguard. Context: Facebook ad copy for a mushroom-based holistic supplement for senior dogs. Well, this is right up my alley. Pet parents typically use it to reduce the size and eliminate fatty lumps and bumps commonly found in older dogs. Target demo is pet parents 45 plus who don't trust vet recommendations and are tired of paying for costly vet visits. They either recommend risky surgery or tell them let's keep an eye on it. If time allows, please read both ads. You can skip the image brief. Okay. I don't know if you know this about me, the person who wrote this, but dogs, particularly senior dogs, are like one of my greatest loves in life. So I know a lot about senior dog care. And I am still planning to launch a business that just focuses on senior dogs, which was part of my ecom adventure, which I will get back to when I'm not also running a marketing and sales department and other ecom businesses and trying to fit in stuff, copy that, and like looking after family and my own dogs. But I will get back to it at some point. Headline. These Facebook ads. Okay, Facebook ads. Headline: it didn't involve surgery or taking her to the vet. Primary text: Bella whimpered in pain as my fingers brushed over her fur. She looked up at me in discomfort, hoping I could do something about yet another lump on her once glistening coat. Another bump, another sign of her aging, another pang of helplessness. I felt a knot in my stomach, knowing Bella trusted me her entire life to take care of her, and there was nothing I could do. Every vet visit was the same. Keep an eye on it, they'd say. Another $200 down the drain with no real solution in sight. And surgery, the price tag was astronomical, not to mention the risks for my aging Bella. I was at my wit's end. Then, in my desperation, I stumbled upon something. I'd heard whispers about the wonders of natural remedies, superfood specifically. To be honest, I was skeptical. Superfoods for lumps, really? But having little to no faith in traditional medicine, I decided to take a deep dive. What I found was nothing short of miraculous. After years of studying superfoods and consulting with experts, I crafted a solution. Not just any solution, but a mushroom-based organic supplement that somehow catered to all of my aging Bella's needs. Her lumps slowly but surely began to shrink, until one by one they dried up and crumbled off. Her fur started growing where those unsightly bumps used to be. Not only that, but Bella had a renewed zest for life. She was more playful, our walks were longer and more enjoyable for both of us. It sounds incredible, but that's what I witnessed with Bella. Imagine having no more costly, pointless vet visits, no more heart-wrenching thoughts of risky surgeries, just a natural, holistic approach that aligns with the love we have for our pets. If you're tired of feeling helpless, if you want to give your senior dog the comfort and vitality they deserve, this superfood-powered supplement is for you. Discover the magic of nature and let your dog live their golden years with grace. Warmly, Stephen. P.S. Your furry friend has given you years of unconditional love. Isn't it time you gave them the comfort, care that they deserve? Okay. Now, interestingly, I think you're kind of doing what I was going to suggest in ad 2. Let me read ad 2 before I give you any feedback, and I'll tell you why I'm waiting. Ad 2: a holistic solution to lumps and bumps. Primary text: does your senior dog suffer from lumps and bumps? It's a heart-sinking sight. Those lumps and bumps aren't just unsightly; they're a reminder of the dog's aging and the discomfort they're feeling. Thought of surgery: expensive, risky, and downright terrifying for your aging companion. And those recommendations, keep an eye on it. They do nothing but empty your pockets. What if there was a way to not only reduce those lumps, but also boost your dog's overall health? Lucky for you, now there is. We've crafted a supplement powered by superfoods to reduce the size and eliminate those comfortable lumps and bumps on your furry friend. Our pets have given us years of unconditional love. Isn't it time we gave them the comfort and life that they deserve? Try Bodyguard risk-free for 30 days, and if you don't see smaller bumps in 30 days, send back what's left of your order and for a full refund. Image of a close-up lump of dog. Bottom third image will read how I got rid of my aging Bella's lumps. Secret supplement that can help you get rid of your senior's dog's lumps and bumps. Okay, let me tell you something about Facebook ads and ads in general. There has never been a campaign that I've done where I've been writing 2 ads that hasn't been improved by testing 2 very, very different types of ads. And for me, that tends to be either ones that focus on 2 completely different angles. Like, and by completely different, I mean like one of them focuses on, I don't know, let's take a real example. What have I done recently? I mean, this sounds embarrassing saying, but erectile dysfunction pills. Okay, like that's something that I've written for recently. One angle, angles are completely different. One would be increase your chance of getting pregnant, of getting your partner pregnant. The other one is about enjoying sexual intercourse. Right, 2 completely different things. Very, very different angles for different reasons that you might be taking ED. Reason being that, you know, you may not know the specifics of why someone wants a thing, so you try do very different angles. That's number 1. Number 2 is testing basically different formats with the same message. So let's say both about enjoying sex, but one is story-based, like the first ad that you've done, and the second is extremely factual, bullet, try now, 30-day guarantee, or whatever. That's how I tend to do testing, and no campaign I've ever done has not been improved by doing that. And let me tell you something that I am yet to, in ads specifically, text-based ads, I'm yet to see the other way win. Let me put this for anyone who's still watching. I want to do this as a little quiz, because I know there's probably only like 10 people watching now. So you 10, you have to participate in this. Of those 2 ads I just described, those formats, the longer one that focuses on a story, and the shorter factual one, which is punchy and focuses on like the kind of the facts and the benefits. You know, the first one obviously has benefits in as well, but is more done in kind of a drawn out way like this. Which one do you think wins? Number 1, longer and story based. Number 2, shorter and fact/benefit based. Would love to see what you guys think wins, number 1 or number 2. I'll give you like 30 seconds to drop, or if everyone's too nervous, then would be, you know, that's fine. So let's just see what Mark says. So the client gave me a brief with angles that works. That's why I went with 2 different formats, the same angle. Okay, perfect. I have data from the results. One of them is in control right now. Well, let's see if our findings corroborate as well. All right. So what we got? So we've got number 1, which is the story. Emotional one can always test even best practice, sometimes it's wrong. Shorter, fact/benefit based. Emotional, which I'm guessing is the first one. Story based. Okay. Want to know which one wins? Basically every single time. Now, bearing in mind this is just for text based, and this is in the industries I work with. Every time, the shorter one wins. Every time. Now, as a fan of direct response copy, I'm sure that you've just gone, like, what? But longer is better, and longer works better. Now, Mark said short one won. Haha. It's I know it's surprising, like when you've heard so much about long copy being best and outpulling. And I'll tell you for why this happens. First thing is that we're talking about text here, okay? And something that I think marketers are now starting to appreciate, and has really only been in the last like 5 years. I think this has kind of become maybe 5 to 10 years. This has kind of become a real. There's been respect for this. Video ads are a completely different skill set to written ads and written copy. Script writing and video editing is a very different skill. You're using the same psychology, and you're talking to the same people, but it has very different impacts. Now, with text, what we're finding is that I don't buy into that people have shorter attention spans. I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I think that if you look at it like attention spans, then you just try and write short copy all the time for the sake of it being short. I don't think people have worse attention spans, but people are used to getting the relevant information more quickly in text specifically, because everything is shortened and everything is quick, because they want to be able. If it looks like it's difficult to read, so often they will just skip past it. If it looks difficult to read, then it's hard. The reason videos don't have that same problem is because videos never look difficult to watch. If a video is playing, it's only ever one thing on the screen at a time. With text, there's loads of stuff that you can see. That's my hypothesis for it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think people are more used to now having videos that are long form, which is why you have YouTube videos, which are like 4 hours long, that people happily sit there and watch through. But, you get the average person to try and read a novel, and they won't do it because there's a lot of pages that you've got to like contend with. With a video, all you have to do is watch a screen and things happen in front of you. I'm not going to get into all of that right now because it honestly deserves a video on its own. But I'm not being, again, like another point to look at. There's 14 people watching right now. A few of you may have been here from the start, right? If this was an article, 2 hours talking worth of an article that I'd been written down, and even with images and stuff, would you be reading all of it still? Probably not. But because it's a video, you find it much easier to pay attention, and it seems like there's less stress in it. So, with the ad, the point I want to get to here with Mark, and I will review it, Mark. But this has just brought up a super interesting point, which is, and that's the reason I want to say it, is every time that I have run tests like this, the shorter ad has won, because it contains basically the same benefits as the longer ad, which are the things that people want to get rid of, and it does it in a shorter space. So this kind of stuff about the emotional sell and all this kind of stuff, it's not that this is bad. It's just that it's better suited to video, where that emotional punch can kind of come through more. But something you have to understand is, especially for problems that are very obvious, which is the same thing I say about e-commerce. So like lumps and bumps on dogs or joint pain, like you don't often need long copy to make people understand, like, oh yeah, I need to fix this. And it's because the best direct response copy is written by people who are writing to unaware audiences in the financial space. So we look at that and we go, oh, good, we should just copy that, beat for beat then, and we should try and make it long for the sake of it. But actually, that's not the way to go. If someone recognizes a problem they have and they know they want to solve it, oftentimes they respect people who show them that quickly and want, get the basics down. Long copy should be there to support the people who want to explore more and need their objections handled. it shouldn't necessarily be long from the start just for the sake of it. So yeah, don't bore us. Get to the chorus, and then sleepy face. I don't know if that sleep face was me because I was going on. But yeah, Mark, would actually be super interested to get your insight on this. You know, if you want to drop any more comments down, because it's because yeah, I imagine you've been experiencing the same thing. Have you heard of Dr. Marty? They're a huge DR company in the pet space, and their long form VSLs are only 50 minutes long. I actually haven't. I maybe have seen some of their VSLs, but I haven't heard of them as a company. But yeah, pets. I mean, dog training videos are well another classic one. But yeah, I will check them out. I'm gonna put them in my Google right now, so I can do it after this. Marty. Yes, fine. I agree to your demands. Freeze dried. So these guys are a DR company, like as in they also run info stuff, or they simply have a line of products and they do multiple ads for them. Anyway, doesn't matter right now. ZN aka Zest, is this live? No, it's not live. They're owned by Golden Hippo. Ah, right. Okay, fine. That makes more sense. It wasn't the sleep face, just for this context. I appreciate that. Okay, so anyway, coming back to this. So that being said, let's not look at ad one. The reason I say that is because, from my personal experience, doing a story-based ad in text on a Facebook ad for something that's a very obvious problem probably isn't worth your time doing. Still run it as a control. I definitely want to be proved wrong, and I want my hypothesis to be wrong because I always like learning, and I want it to be something else that I haven't discovered yet, or something that actually means no, you just need to reframe in this way. In terms of ad two, headline, what is the image again? You said it's that secret supplement can get rid of your senior dog's lumps and bumps. Something else that I would test is this versus a photo of a happy dog with the caption something like no more lumps and bumps, or no more bumps on my dog. Okay. So have one that's very direct and like pointing out the big problem, so something they're definitely going to recognize. Have another one which is like a really cute dog, and no more lumps, or the lumps just fell away, something around that. Really try those kind of different frames. So that would be the next thing that I would argue testing is the negative frame against the positive frame. So like super negative around like, oh, it's horrible, and the vet doesn't want this, and this isn't great. Do another one, a control which is around lumps like fell off, all very positive, zest for life, this kind of stuff that you say, but like push it to the fore. Still make it obvious that it's about these lumps and bumps. We'll talk about how easy it was, how surprised you were, how much happier the dogs are with it. And you can still try the Bella story, but just like this, so it's just almost like a third party thing. But that would be the next thing I would say to test, just looking at this. Try a really positive frame on it. I'm not going to say that is going to win. My gut tells me it would probably do better. It tends to be anything dogs that I have tested, particularly when it comes to dogs' health. The positive frame tends to win over the negative frame. And it's because it's kind of giving people that hope, and they're almost future pacing because they're imagining like, oh, I can't wait to have that. It's why if you look at the most successful advertising for dogs, which is YouMove, like this company does a ton of, I mean, this is in the UK specifically, but they do a ton of sales, and all of their advertising is super positive, like really, really happy. They do a lot of TV ads that do really well. They do like advertorials do really well. All smiling, all happy, all hugs, always happy dogs in the packet. Their stuff is I would definitely recommend checking out like their videos and stuff that they do. I wonder if they have one. They used to have one on like the landing page. Maybe it was of the product. I can't remember where it is right now, and I'm not going to go searching for it. But point is, like, the best dog brands that I see, especially doing physical products, with like supplements and pills and stuff, they tend to focus on the happier side of it. So I would definitely test that. A holistic solution to lumps and bumps. Yeah, I definitely know that. People like many dog owners are a fan of that. That kind of thing. I would, if I was giving you more advice on this, I would say cut a lot of this, and I would focus on the facts and the benefits. I would have the check mark emoji like 3 times, and I would say like remove unsightly lumps and bumps, like no, and then another one, no surgery required, and then another one, something around like natural and healthy for senior dogs. Okay. I'd have those 3. I'd have the headline, which is like the lumps and bumps fall off from senior dogs, or a quotation mark, which is like our 10-year-old, our 10-year-old Goldie or our 10-year-old Spaniel is so much happier without the lumps. Big creative of happy dog next to like the pill bottle or something like that with the caption. I would have, that headline I mentioned, potentially the quotes, the ticks, and then I would have an explanation as to why. I always throw in this kind of stuff, unconditional love, like that always works well, throw that in. But I would have like, why does it work? In the ad as well, just in that text. And then a direct invite pointing below to say like see why this works so well by clicking below. Give them an invite. Don't try and convince them of everything right here. Give them an invite to click to that landing page, to the product page. Oftentimes they just need to see the product, and then they see like, oh, okay, yeah, let's buy it, because the impulse will kick in. Give them a very direct CTA to click. That's something a lot of Facebook ads don't do. This isn't even just specific to this ad. Like they don't give enough of a, hey, click below, like to actually see the next step. You don't have to say buy now. Just go like, just click below to learn more and see why this works so well for so many senior dogs, or see why 14,000 senior dog owners already trust us to keep the lumps away. Give them the comfort they deserve. Also use a fucking dog emoji. I'm being super serious. Use some dog emojis. Like, another thing that I'm always surprised at is the more fun that an ad looks, the more it gets engaged with. Emojis, arrows like pointing down, ellipses, things that make it fun to read. We were talking about not making it look too heavy or hectic. Some color, some splashes. One, it just looks, when you're trying to frame things positively and you're trying to remind people about their dogs, it makes it look friendlier, makes it look safer. It implies and imbues the idea of, this can't be negative. This isn't clinical. This is something that's friendly and happy. And it just grabs attention so much easier, because humans now are so used to reading and reacting to pictures. So hopefully that's kind of been there's some useful advice in there to pick out. Mark, has that been useful in any way? And do you have any other specific questions around that? Because I can go into more detail about certain bits of copy, but hopefully that's kind of been useful. I don't want to like rip it apart as such, because I don't think, I'm not saying these are bad ideas. I just think that really think of this as, if you genuinely only had like 20 seconds to explain to someone, not a word count, but if you had 20 seconds to explain to someone in real life, like why they would like this for their dog, like this ideal client, what things would you say? Would you start by going, like, oh, well, Bella was here and I loved her loads and all this stuff? Would you give all that thing? Or would you just say like, oh, well, it's, it's natural. We've had 14,000 people say that it's great and it works and the bumps aren't there anymore. It means you haven't got to get surgery for your senior dog. Bella was a dog. It was Bella's like my dog, or Bella's a dog who had loads of problems with this. Now she's absolutely super healthy and so much happier, and it's so lovely to see her bounding around. Yeah, I can show you some more if you want. Like, that's probably how you'd say it in that kind of like parlance, and that's how I'd recommend thinking about these kind of Facebook ads here. Kevin actually brings up a really good point, which is Question for Facebook ads. I thought it serves like a lift email, which is the only purpose is to get a click, which is kind of one of the things I've been kind of dancing around, which is that, yeah, like I mentioned, so often Facebook ads kind of forget that like you can just ask someone to click below to like learn more and find out more. And there's nothing wrong with that. There was a trend over the last kind of few years of Facebook ads getting longer and longer, and there being longer copy. And for some, that absolutely works. Like for some industries, again, particularly in the course space, for people who are kind of dedicated to like info products or like like real estate courses and stuff like that, those longer form ones have worked quite well. But for something as straightforward as your dog has a problem and you want medication to fix that problem that's like natural, that doesn't need to be such a long kind of space dedicated to that. It can just be like, oh, this is really good, it works, learn more by clicking below. Like people love clicking, and then when they're on a landing page, so often that impulse takes over. So Kevin, to answer your question, not all Facebook ads like have to act like lift emails, but yeah, often, especially when the problem is quite direct, yeah, I think businesses would benefit more if they thought more of it about like, get that same emotion in, like talk about those same benefits, but do it in a more concise space, where you're still getting across what needs to be got across. I don't want everyone to think like I'm saying shorter copy is better. That's because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you need to think about what matters to the person in that moment, and are they going to be put off by seeing like, oh, I've got to read loads of stuff now just to get to something I'm interested in. Add to with positive image is doing the best. There we go. So like, what I said, like, I bear in mind, yes, okay, I've done quite a lot for dogs, dog products and BarkBox and things like that, but I wasn't just talking about in the dog space. Across industries and across spaces, this kind of advice it just works. But particularly in dogs for the positive thing. So I'm glad to see we're kind of corroborating there. Would like to ask, based on your experience and testing, which tends to do better? 1, Facebook ads, click, sales page, product page, or 2, Facebook ads, just selling, product page. If we're talking about e-commerce, Facebook ads, product page, like I basically always wins, because a product page just acts as a sales page. One of my masterclasses we mentioned earlier, which is the ecom product page masterclass, I talk about that quite extensively, about how to use a product page as a sales page and what's actually important for ecom products. Great suggestions. Glad to hear it. I'm really glad you brought me this piece because it's actually been super engaging. So thank you for that. Go shorter, be more positive, and use emojis. Boom. Like, it's the TikTok school of marketing. It really is. It sounds horrible when you put it all in one sentence like that. But right now for ecom and for very direct problem products, I think it's true. And I think it's because people are used to that kind of like impulse, quick decision, like, okay, let's get to the meat of what I need to see here. The caveat is that you still need to be using really good research, you still need to be using very good copy techniques, and you still need to use direct response principles. None of that should change. And most businesses like kind of do this kind of thing where they just think, oh, short is better, but they don't know why they think that. They just do crap and they just write stuff that just isn't good. And you say, yeah, I took inspiration from the store and from an info product ad that did well. Yeah, like nothing wrong with testing. And this is why I said this to my one of my friends who was working with a company who sold like neck support pillows a few weeks ago. I said to him, dude, test 2. Like test 2. Test a story one where they talk about product, all this kind of stuff, and like they have a story of someone who's in a lot of pain and why they want to get better, and then test one that's super short. Do both those things. Nothing wrong with testing. Yeah. Thanks. I don't know what that was in reference to, but I'm gonna say thanks and assume it's an agreement of some kind. Good to be here, Jeremiah. It's lovely to have you here. Okay. Please let these be short. If you really, okay, I'm just gonna read through this. Masterclass, unique copy angles. Oh, is this Rod's masterclass? Or is this something different? Is this Rod? Ron. Okay. his name is Rod, but but I know what you mean. That's quite funny. That's made me laugh. Okay, I will give this one a skim through, because I am really tired now and I have work in the morning. if you really consider a copywriting career, you can't skip this. Without this creative skill, competitors will take away your copywriting dreams. Lungs, eyes, and brain are nothing without heart. You can't breathe, you can't see, you can't think. Only a biological engine can pump blood into your whole body and give you a life. And this creating force is the foundation of everything around us. I mean, if this is kind of trying to be creative, because the whole point of the class is to be unique and creative, like, I'm all for having a bit of difference in a product page, but again, kind of similar to what we were just saying, I can tell you immediately, like, this is not, I don't think this would do very well, because none of this means anything to the person reading this as they start to read it. Neither does this. This is relevant, but you've not delivered on why, if I want a copywriting career, I need to know anything about lungs, eyes, brains, and heart. Like, starting with metaphors, especially long metaphors, is always risky, because, like, I don't want to have to do work to figure out what you're trying to tell me. Like, I want you to show me that. Ron. Is this Rod's masterclass? I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Nike office. Okay, honestly, like, I'm not even going to review, like, the specific copy of this, because the first thing I can tell you is the idea of this just needs to change. There's no point in me critiquing the line edits, as we call them, before you have a look at the value edits, that high level of, like, what is this actually trying to do. You're trying to, so, you know, just as a quick thing, like, you're trying to say, right, this is, you need this to know this for a copywriting career. Then you're talking about how you need ideas. How do you compete against all these people? By ideas. Most of the ads are ordinary, but then a good ad is like a Lamborghini. But so you're just talking, you're saying, hey, you need this if you want to earn money, basically, as a copywriter, if you want a copywriting career. And then you're talking about stuff that is to do with, like, making your ads different to everyone else's. This is not telling me about how to start a copywriting career or how I make sure I secure the money. Because when people see this, I can tell you, like, if you are really considering a copywriting career, anyone who looks at this is going to be like, okay, well, I don't have a copywriting career, so I should read this. And then if they start reading about ideas and how their ads need to be different, they're going to switch off, because all they want to know at this point is, how the hell do I get copywriting clients? And, like, what even is copywriting? You know, that kind of thing. This is going far too, like, deep and conceptual. Not conceptual, far too deep and almost like ambiguous for someone who thinks they want a copywriting career. So you need to really rethink what you're doing here on this page. And then product page for finding the constellations, a masterclass on studying copy, which I think is one of Sean's. I want to say, oh god, I have a brownie. Where are we? Finding constellations. Oh no, this is Rod. Okay, right. So this is another one. I don't know. It could be Sean. They look alike. So cool. The only way to learn great copy is to read great copy. If you know how to do it effectively, it's one of the fastest ways to start writing copy that gets you paid. You don't need to be a copywriting expert to understand a piece of writing. It gets really simple once you learn the common hidden messages used by the best writers in the world. The average person sees 4 to 10,000 ads per day. If you can confidently look at an ad and explain what's working, you should always have ideas techniques to pull from. Successful promos can run for years using the same copy. Knowing why those pieces have stood the test of time will quickly earn you long-term retainers if used in your own writing. Now, again, this is as is a common thing, because of the people who tend to be writing for our masterclass products. This has kind of gone with the idea of how to get copywriting clients and how to get copywriting work. I would argue and say that's maybe not the right type of person you should be aiming at for this one. I might be wrong. Maybe you should be. But the point is, like, I think your first thought is, oh, I've got to somehow make this a masterclass about how to get paid. you know, like, oh, how you can get copywriting clients. But sometimes the masterclasses just don't fit that frame. Like sometimes it is just, hey, if you've been struggling to understand copy, if you're trying to learn copy, you've just been struggling to understand it, and you don't really understand why it works or not, this masterclass is for you. It's fine to say that as well, because that's still a problem people will feel. And then later on in the page, you can say, look, and this is also going to help you to get paid, because once you understand copy, you'll be able to explain it to clients and you'll be more likely to convince them to work with you. But that doesn't have to be the main idea of this message. So I think don't just try and cram it into a like, oh, people have to know how to earn money from this masterclass, so I'm going to make it like that. So again, I would maybe say, like, is that necessarily what people want to do? And again, is there congruence between, you know, you don't need to be a copywriter to understand it. Like, you want to know what the best writers in the world use. Like, you should always have these ideas to pull from. It's like, well, does that have to do with me getting paid? And then also successful promos. Am I brand new to this? Are you talking to someone who already knows it? Because if you're brand new, like, are you gonna know what promo is? Maybe not. The 3-step LSC framework is the fastest way that beginner copywriters can kickstart a copywriting career. So again, you're talking about how like this you kickstart your copywriting career. So another thing to consider with these product pages for masterclasses is if you're going in with the angle of this is going to begin your copywriting career, and someone buys this masterclass, will they be disappointed? Because I mean, I watched this one a long time ago, but I feel like this one is more about like, here's how you study copy, and here's how you annotate it, and here's the literal and the rhetorical and the conceptual meanings behind the copy that we look at. If I bought that based on this copy, I would probably be disappointed, because I would probably think, well, that didn't tell me how to get clients. So we need to be careful about, again, like, not just labeling this as, oh, to get clients, because it might not be for that. You might be just trying to aim, you know, like sirloin steak at a vegan, right? Like, you might just be aiming this at the wrong kind of person. Like, this has a fit, this has an ideal client, but it might not be the person who is just starting out their career and wants to get clients right now. It may be the person who's starting out their career, but who is struggling to understand like the copy that they're reading. It might be the person who is working with a client, but they feel like they don't actually get why other copy works and theirs doesn't. You need to consider this a bit more. You don't have to be a master copywriter to start earning money in this industry. You just need to be able to know the hidden messages in copy that are orchestrated behind the scenes. Once you know them, you can read any piece of successful copy, pick up on the techniques used, and incorporate it into your own work. Just knowing how to do this is enough to get clients that begging to work with you. That being said, being able to read copy isn't as straightforward as it sounds. When you're first starting out, you might think you understand it. You might think you understand how copywriting works, but in all likelihood, there's a good chance you haven't actually sat down and thought about the process it takes to read it. Even if you're a newbie, so if you're studying copying and what do I even look for, we got you covered. So again, like, this is the kind of thing where I think it will be stronger. I think this is perhaps a functional problem in the sense that, you know, perhaps restructuring this could help you. I think starting with this kind of thing, when you study copy, if you go, what the heck, what should I even be looking for? I think that's going to speak to someone a lot more, and they're going to go into this with a much greater expectation of what it actually is. And then you can talk about, plus knowing this stuff is going to help you earn more money, because you'll understand how to go to clients. Personally, I think that I wouldn't want to missell someone with thinking like, oh, this is going to really help you get clients, because I don't think that's what this class focuses on at all. So I would rethink about how you frame this and if you should restructure it. The copywriting secret you can learn from rappers and music producers that generate $2 billion this ad. Again, like, if we're saying like this is like the idea, even as getting clients is the idea, like $2 billion earned from an ad, is that telling me like either of those things? Is that helping me get clients, or is that helping me understand what makes copy good? Or like what I'm looking for when I'm studying copy, sorry. Not really. Again, whenever your first bullet doesn't really link up to the things you've been talking about, it potentially change it for another. Don't waste hours of your life studying copy that sucks. Here's a quick fire to make sure you're studying the right type of copy. Great, like, good bullet, really good bullet. That's something that, you know, people absolutely are worried about, and it's nice and it's simple and it's put out like, here is how you do it. This is concrete. Great. The number one highlighting tip Rod always gives complete beginners when studying copy. Cool. Apply it correctly and you're going to massively kick up your ability to learn from the copy you're reading. Great. Again, like, that sounds more congruent with the message you're trying to get across. The structure of a piece of copy can make or break how well the promo performs. Again, promo is that something they know yet? If you want to turn readers into customers, you need to recognize how and when to use the 20 most common structural elements in copy. Again, that seems like it's going to give me a lot of bang for my buck. I'm going to get to know 20 things. I might even emphasize that as a bullet to say, do you know the 20 structural elements in copy, or the 20 most common structural elements in copy? Understand it, learn these, and you'll start noticing them everywhere, and how you can apply them to the stuff that you write. Something like that. Again, like I think there's some solid bullets in here. Like I can tell. I just think that you're trying to force the main idea into something that it just isn't, or that it shouldn't necessarily be. I think that the getting paid is a supporting benefit of this. I think that this should be going out to people who are already thinking, God, I just don't get copy at the moment, or I'm really struggling to study it. I think this will be a much stronger piece of copy. Again, similar thing to the other one. If you change it with that in mind and you come back to me, I think some of the copy here is decent. Then we might be happy to pay you for this if it kind of moves up to standard. So hopefully what I've said is going to help you do it. Okay. Oh, God. All right, Docs Marty, I'm going to have a look at it before I go to bed as well. But I'm going to do that on my own time because it is 20 past midnight here. And I need to get up at 5. Probably, I might get up at 6 now. I might try and give myself a little bit longer because I need to stay up late tomorrow as well because I have to film my masterclass. Cool. Have I missed anything? Chalice, why is the Y you in? If you really consider copywriting, you can't skip this. Capitalized is only odd to me. Mind you. Yeah. I mean, I just think that whole thing needs to be rethought. I think from the idea to the grammar. So I've now been going for 3 hours, literally just over 3 hours, 3 hours and 28 seconds. My brownie is barely half eaten, and I probably shouldn't eat it because I'm about to go to bed as well, and I need to brush my teeth. But that's the stream, guys. And I want to say for the first time, like, ever, certainly when I've been doing it, we actually got through every single piece of copy that was submitted after I put my call out. So that's good. That's an achievement. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know everyone always asks this. Yes, this replay will be available. It's if you go to the live tab on our YouTube channel, it will be available. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you being here and keeping me company. It does actually help. It makes a difference. It makes the journey more enjoyable. I enjoy your questions. We will do one before I move. I think we'll do just a Q&A thing because Q&As are quite fun. You guys seem to enjoy them as well, and we often go on tangents anyway instead of reviewing copy. So I might just say, right, get everyone in, ask all your questions, and we'll dedicate all the time to answering every single one. And then I will also have, for all you patrons out there, I will have there's a masterclass that Sean and I did, I think yesterday, that I think is up about pattern interrupts and cold outreach. Because actually, I mean, I won't reveal it because if you wanna know what was in this letter, you can join the Patreon. But I received this letter the other day at work. So titled, addressed to Alex Myatt, head of sales and marketing, Health Era, handwritten, sent first class, and it had a fantastic pattern interrupt in here, as like for cold outreach. Really, really good. Honestly, one of the best pieces of cold outreach I've ever got. So me and Sean have just done a mini masterclass that opens that letter, reveals what it is, and tells you how it's good. Other instances where we've had good cold outreach and pattern interrupts, and how you can do it as well. So that was maybe like 40 minutes or an hour of us talking about that. So that's up now, and then I will also do one about e-commerce pretty soon that I will plan to have up by, I want to say, the end of this week. If not, it will be next week, and that will be about earning money as an e-commerce copywriter and marketer and all that kind of stuff.
So yeah, that's it. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Breezy. Thank you, Chalice. And Kevin, I watched that and I was hit with a sledgehammer in the face. There you go. Only patrons will get that reference if you've seen it. And speaking of which, I should probably do a plug because I'm meant to be a marketer and we should always end with a CTA. Guys, if you did enjoy this and you can afford it, and you want to support the channel and what we do and give us the justification for spending 3 hours on a Wednesday, now a Thursday, doing streams and reviewing copy. And if you want to get your copy reviewed and critiqued, and if you also want access to dozens of masterclasses, hundreds of hours worth of content, behind the scenes stuff, over the shoulder research, e-commerce building, financial stuff, bullets, there's just loads of videos in there. Then please join the Patreon. $20 a month, you support the channel and you get all of that stuff. And yeah, it just allows us to continue doing this and buying better equipment because we really enjoy it and it's a little hobby business. So yeah, but don't buy it if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner and you want clients, watch all of our free stuff. And go and prospect. All right, cool. I am gonna go. I'm gonna finish my brownie. I'm gonna brush my teeth, and I'm gonna go to bed. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hugely appreciate you. I hope you have a good night. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you make a lot of money. And as always, feel free to say hello in the Discord or shoot any emails, etc. our way, and we will do our best to get back to you. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.